What's
when I
up,
was
guys?
when I
Welcome
was
in, everybody. We're talking about Arthur the show.
yeah.
That was a great show. I watched it every morning when I was a kid. And Aaron said it's before his time, which I think it was, or after his time, which I think it was, but it was during my time. And that was a great show. All right. Just like SpongeBob. I quote that every day.
Hey, hey Arnold. Hey Arnold was
Arnold,
Hey
great
Arnold
show.
was in my time.
very good.
That was in my
That was
time.
good.
Doug, Rugrats, the
Yeah.
the earlier days of The Simpsons.
Yep.
By the way,
Sure.
I went to Pliables downtown tonight. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So I
What
wasn't
do they
really
do?
hungry after the gym. I went and did legs. Wasn't really hungry because sometimes I fast, and I fasted till like 3 o'clock. Went to Chick-fil-A, ate for the first time, and that just kills your appetite when you're not eating all day. But it's fasting, So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah.
and then after the gym, I wasn't even hungry, so I just went. We went to Pliables. I got a like protein smoothie. I walked in. I'm like, I've never been here before. I just want protein. They're like, okay. So they got this. Gave the person I
good?
was with, gave her a bowl. So she got a bowl. And we like shared the bowl. And then I got this. And yeah, not bad. It's got peanut butter in it. So,
Can't beat that.
but anyway, guys, got Sean Currie.
Yeah.
Big get.
And
No pun
Aniti,
intended on big.
yeah, Aniti Paiva,
Pava.
technically is his
Pava.
name, I guess.
Yeah.
It's Pavia.
I think it's just Pava or Pava.
Paiva.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I
I
know.
spelled
Pava. Or,
Allow
it's
me
spelled
to
like
look.
Pavia in a way, but I think it's just Pava.
Of course, I spelled wrong in the title. Got 2 letters wrong.
We can edit it.
Yeah, I'm editing it right now. But yeah, big signees, guys. I mean, again, it adds to the class. If one of you guys can pull up 247, I haven't looked yet, but
We're at
those are
8.
2 good signs. I think one or both are going to end up being 4 stars. But Sean Currie, 6'7", 235. And Pavi is 6'2", 300. I mean, he's a freak. He's strong.
320.
So 320.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's exciting. We got 2 good guys. I mean, we all expected it, and now it's sent. We're in. So it's cool. It's exciting. And again, I think recruiting wise, they're doing good. There's some things that Brett and I talked about that we want to do better.
Yeah.
And we just see how it plays out. We have no control over it. But
no.
Yeah. But what do you guys think of the signs of these guys?
Yeah. Sean Currie, man. I mean, people can say, "Oh, another 3-star." You look at the visits, man. You look at the visits, the offered, who offered. He took 6 visits to Penn State, 2 to Texas A&M, 1 to Georgia, 1 to Florida. Ohio State offered. Some really good offers, man. So he's literally, and Landon Tangwell said it, and he knows best. He's like a Benjamin Bramer clone, basically. I mean, that's what he is. I mean, he looks like him, probably even a little quicker, maybe more fluid at his age right now. I mean, he's got to put on weight. You have to see if he can still be as fluid, but pretty decent route runner, good hands, catches it with one hand if he wants to, just like Bramer. A willing blocker, but he's not asked to do it at a high school level, right? So that's something he's going to work on when he gets to college. We have Cooper Terwilliger for the dirty work. He's already used to that in high school and is going to continue to get better. So very good tight end duo that I'm excited about. And Aniti is very, what can I say? He's underrated for sure. He plays at a 3-down front, so he's asked to take on double teams, has experience with it, does a really good job doing it. Obviously, he's going to have to learn some more pass rush moves, but if you want him to plug in the middle, stop the run, and cause hazardous, play for the offensive line that he's going against and the quarterback, then that's good. That's what he does. So those are my thoughts on it so far.
Yeah, I like. I was starting with Paiva. Paiva is true nose tackle, so 3-4. Yeah, he's used to getting double and triple team. Pretty much lives in that world. He fights through it really well. He's a big guy, takes up a lot of space, but also he kind of manhandles a lot of guys. He does a great job too. If you look at some of his tape, when he gets double teamed, he does a good job of turning his body into the double teams and he's good at kind of knifing his way through one or two guys. He'll just fight through them. So really good. He keeps churning. Obviously being a nose tackle, he doesn't get a lot of shots at the quarterback. He might get more. He'll actually probably get more shots in a 4-3 system. But yeah, big dude, takes up space. We know that how much the Campbell's guys like this on their line of scrimmage. Be big, take up a lot of space, and be a guy who teams have to give you multiple players. They have to throw multiple people at you, right? So if you're just a fighter like that, I like that about him. He seems like a warrior in the trenches, and guys like that they're a problem for any team, just because they soak up your personnel. And in many ways, football's a game of numbers. If you just have more hats than they do, you win. And when you have a guy who eats 2 or 3 hats by himself, it's really good math. Math's good on that. So, but yeah, really like him. Looks like a really strong player. Currie, I really like Currie. He is more athletic. Like, he comes off as a 6'7", 6'7", 235. So your thought is he's a really big guy, but he's actually a lot more athletic than he gets credit for. I know, like, the comparisons to Brahmer, they're somewhat appropriate, but I actually see him actually being more of a vertical tight end, even though he's a really big dude. He has physicality. Like you were saying, he has a willingness to do the blocking and stuff. He just needs to be more consistent with it. But that's something you work on. But he's strong enough to throw some dudes around. He had some pretty funny tape where he was knocking dudes to their ground and just sitting on them. But really, the thing that stood out to me was he's got soft hands. He catches the ball really well. A lot of his catches were like his quarterback leading him a little too much and him just kind of one-handing it. So a lot of his tape was that kind of catch. But also he's pretty good at he finds space really well for a big guy. And that was kind of what I said. Like, athletically, he's got more athleticism than you think. It's not just his size that's a problem. He's one of those dudes. I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of. He reminds me a little bit of the Ravens tight end, Isaiah Likely. He's big, but he finds space really well. And that just makes him really, he's hard to cover because of that. He's like in between, right? So I like.
Yeah, do you remember that?
What was that?
When they lost on Sunday Night Football because his foot was like right over the line. They were like, his feet are too big.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yep.
Yeah, but I do like Currie a lot like that. He seems like he'd be a real handful to cover. Especially if he's like, I almost say, like, don't ask him to gain too much weight, because you want him to keep that physicality vertically that he's got, because that athleticism kind of sets him apart. Like, he's a guy that your typical safety will actually struggle to keep up with in just a foot race. And that kind of guy, like a dude who's 6'7" and can run the seam at Travis Kelce speeds, is pretty scary. That's hard to cover. So
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George. And we're getting like we're getting some really cool names, like the all-name team, man. Sean Currie, Cooper Terwilliger, like just some different names. Aniti Paiva, like we always get some pretty cool names at Penn State.
I didn't know Paiva was that one kind of threw me off, because I think he's Samoan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think that was an island name. I thought Paiva was I thought that was like a Polish name or something.
What is Diego Pavia? Diego Pavia.
Yeah, Paiva, I think it's got a different pronunciation, but it's close. It's
but I remember
close.
Paiva. I think Paiva is like a Nordic name. So that was what kind of I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an Islander name too. It's interesting. So I'm pronouncing it the Nordic way, I think, with Paiva, but I don't know that that's for sure how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Well, that was all our defensive tackles coach. That's and he was just with a 4-star kid too. So that's the thing about our staff. We have ties everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over. Yeah.
We'll hear Sean Fitz. Sean Fitz always checks on the names. He's really good at that. So we'll get the correct pronunciation from Sean Fitz. He's always good for it. Or T. Frank. They're both really good at getting the correct pronunciation. So,
Jadon, absolutely right. The physicality is, and that's you recognize that with every player that they're picking up. The tape is a lot more physicality.
I mean, outside of DDS last year, our defensive line, like Zariah Fisher, he played his tail off, man. But
there was a few guys.
It just wasn't there for us.
Wasn't there?
It didn't feel like the defense wanted to hit people.
And part of that was the scheme with Jim Knowles trying to play a scheme that works better for bigger defensive tackles and linemen. So
sure,
that's a problem.
I want to make a quick comparison. Aaron will remember this. In the Orange Bowl in 2006, when we played Florida State, we were in the Florida heat.
Yeah,
that was very, very hot for Penn State, for example.
Oh yeah,
we were not used to that weather. The last game we played was probably Michigan State, and it was in the freezing cold. I think it was in Michigan State. Beat the piss out of them. But we go down to Florida. We're playing Florida State. They're used to that weather. We're not, right? Tom Bahali. If you just go back and watch that game, just watch the broadcast. Tom Bahali, I don't know what, dude. He was on another planet that night. His motor did not stop. They went into triple overtime or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
His motor was insane all night, and he made a difference in that game because of that motor that he had. If you watch the Oregon game this year, DDS, Zariah Fisher, those guys were playing their tails off all night. Zariah Fisher, all he had to do was make one play, and it probably would have changed the game. And he was just all-out sprint, all-out sprint, all-out sprint, all-out sprint the whole night. And he was healthy. He came back because he was out. We threw the kitchen sink at those guys on our defensive line. Couldn't do it. And that was so frustrating, man. That's a big reason why we lost that game was because of the defensive ends. It wasn't like their fault. They just couldn't do anything, man. Like Oregon was so prepared for that.
Yeah, well, and that's why you look in their recruiting, and it's one of the reasons that the physicality on everybody, you see that going up because you need everybody to play like that. Even if I don't care if you're a 2-star guy, you just got to find somebody to hit on every play. That should just be normal for you to be like, I'm looking for somebody to hit. Right. That's why I often said some of the angrier football teams that play really well, they're probably going to get some penalties just for hitting people late, but I'd rather they be doing that than playing soft. So it's one of those things that, you're going to have I think, when the last coaching staff was around that it was like you had the individual effort from individual guys who stood out. But I think that was part of the problem too. The team as a whole, it was like, oh, those, Parsons will take care of it, or Zariah will take care of it. One of those guys will take care of it. And people just weren't, it wasn't everybody's hitting as if they're the ace guy on the team. You should always be that way. Like as a football player,
there was a lot of individual play.
You should play like the team's on your back every play, right? And that's kind of, and I think that's part of the reason that this staff is pushing so hard for that type of player who they're just playing the play to the bitter end every time, no matter what.
You need everybody to play like a freshman Darius Dixon. That dude played hard every play.
Yeah, Darius Dixon was playing hard every single play. Yeah. Yep. So I think that's what they want. They just want to see that because, again, you'd be surprised how far that can get you. You can be surprising. You can be outmatched physically by another team, But if you just play them to the whistle every single time, it goes a long way, man. And take a look at Indiana. Indiana was physically outmatched by a lot of the teams that they played, and it did not matter at all.
and outmatch them with their physicality. Yep.
Yeah, because they just play to the whistle every time. They aren't satisfied just putting it down, you know.
Yeah, so. That's a great point. Well,
they had some short defensive tackles that were just bullying people.
Oh yeah, man. Their little Timmies were knocking people down, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what Landon would call them, right?
Little Timmy, dude, he's so funny when he calls
them. They had little Timmy. Didn't matter. Those little Timmy, they were angry ones.
Yeah. So, Aaron, a couple examples, and I was texting Brett all season, like, I hate this celebrating stuff. Oh, dude, I hate it. But Brett said, he's like, well, there's a couple times where they're probably celebrating because they just want to fire up the team, which is true.
Yeah, that happened.
Because we had no life a lot of times. But
it got to an excessive point, yeah.
Okay, so the Nevada game, when Zane Durant had that, he almost had a fumble 6 or whatever, right? Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like hitting his belly. I don't know what it was, but like, all right, like that was a good time to celebrate because that was an insane play, and I thought we were gonna blow them out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm correct, that's when they went 3 and out and kicked a field goal. Of course, they did that 4 times in that game.
Yeah, they did.
But Indiana game, towards the end there, they sack Mendoza.
Yep.
2nd and 19.
2nd and 19, yeah, 17 or 19 or something, yeah.
They're celebrating. Watch the play, watch the game. If you guys don't know, they're celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
They hurry up. The defensive line is sprinting back to. They weren't ready because they're celebrating. 2nd 19. Guess what they did? They converted it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and some of that too
just
comes down to quick thinking and the coaching staff. And I've said this before. Like, communication and the coaching staff is really important. There are too many times where a head coach is just running every little detail and micromanaging the game. And the truth is, like, your defensive coordinator needs to have the liberty to just call a timeout there. Like, see that they're not going to be set, see that they're not ready. And, like, if he's got to burn a timeout to save that situation, let him do it. Because it happens, right? Like, guys get
call a timeout,
away, whatever, and
why not?
That, like it or not, like, and that's what it says. Like, a good timeout is always just a well-timed one. It doesn't matter when you use it; it matters the situation you use it in. So, me having 3 timeouts with 1 minute left on the clock means nothing if I gave up the touchdown that won the game 5 minutes ago because I wasn't willing to burn a timeout that would have prevented it. Right. So, and then. That's why guys like in the NFL, I still think that's one of the reasons that guys like McVay and some of them struggle late in games is because they don't know when to burn they hold their timeout and they hold it until it doesn't matter anymore. Like, good, you got 2 timeouts you didn't need. You lost the game.
they didn't even use them right at the end of the game, man. That clock management was horrendous.
Yeah, well,
But to go back, why I mentioned all that is because we're getting guys that are going to be physical now. We weren't that physical last year. Probably not going to be celebrating a lot, but we're going to get guys that are physical, like you guys are talking about. And we didn't have it, man. Like, we just didn't have it. That's disappointing because Zane Durant, that kid, I like Zane Durant, strong kid, but his play, man, it just wasn't up to what we needed it to be. So this Paiva kid, I think he's going to be a guy that will be extremely physical and he will dominate up front. That's why they got him. So he's strong. I mean, we saw his tape. He's strong.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very
and a 3-4. He's a 3-4 guy.
Yep.
That's a Cam Hayward type of guy.
Yep.
You have more experience coming out of high school playing in 3-4. Like, that's tough, dude. Like, you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn some adjustments being on a 4 down front, but he's gonna have the upper hand compared to other guys. So
absolutely, and really, like, the only thing you really need to do with him is just get him used to the technique for when he's square with people. But really
Chris, what's up?
playing nose tackle. Oh, hey, Chris.
Chris, I think you're the one that was battling cancer, right?
I think
you
so.
finally got a membership. That's great.
Yeah,
Chris, I was wondering about you, man. How you been?
Glad to have you back, man. Hope all is well.
Aaron.
Oh,
bless you.
Yeah, that was definitely worth stopping for. No, J-Don, I do remember that. Yeah, again, well-placed timeouts can be the difference in the game. But a lot of coaching staffs are so poor at communication that everything has to go to the head coach first, or they're not allowed to, like, you hired the staff for a reason. So if you don't trust them to make those calls in critical situations, why did you hire them? You paid them millions of dollars. I just don't get that. But
well, Aaron, you said about Paiva. It looked like, or it was either you or Brett said about him doing double and triple teams.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That man lived in triple teams. On his tape, they were just the high schools were so desperate to just do something about the sheer size of him that they were just throwing people at him. There was some pretty funny tape, like a couple of running backs who had to come in and chip him. They chip him one time, and then they just kind of, all right, I'm done here, back away. But rightfully so, though. Imagine if I was having to hit a 340-pound guy. I'm not sure how many hits I'd try to put on him.
Yeah, I'm walking away.
Like, listen, man, I'm not making it to the NFL, so I ain't getting broken here.
No.
But they seem, he's definitely, he's used to dealing with a lot of people trying to fight him on his way to the quarterback. So,
yeah, clearly. But yeah, I mean, first of all, our tight end 6'7", 335. You said, Brett.
235.
235.
235, which is a good size being in high school.
Paiva's 335. Yeah. So Sean Currie 6'7", 235. I mean, bro, this kid is 17 years old.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
And he's a 3-star. That's crazy.
He'll be a 4-star before
yeah, he will. And then
he should be.
Paiva is the 335 guy. Or you said 335, Brett?
He's 320, I think.
320 right now. He's 6'3", I think. Yeah, look.
Yeah, he's 6'3". Yeah.
He's probably still growing too. He might be. You know, he can end up being a little bit hair taller, and then some of his weight. He's gonna have to add some healthy mass. I'm sure some of it's, McDonald's and whatever else he's eating out there, but in Utah. But yeah, he has the upper hand with his size. Mark Senior.
Hey, Mark.
Hello,
the legend.
Good to see you.
Wow.
Legend. Yeah.
Yeah, he's welcome in, Dad. He's like you said, Brett. Yeah, he's probably eating some McDonald's. But once he gets here, that's one thing I was going to say. When he's battling triple teams in high school, that means your body's probably beaten up pretty good. So when he comes here, gets in our lifting program, gets our nutrition program, it's going to be, I think it's going to help him immensely. He's going to get stronger. I mean, Armstrong knowed him, dude. I don't know where he's at, but he's putting in a ton of work in the weight room. My goodness.
He's right
and you talk about a guy who doesn't really need more muscle. It's him, but he's putting it on. So,
yeah, he's big.
But
he's a big dude.
Dad. This guy, our D tackle we just got today, he's 6'3". Sorry, Brett. What is he again? 330?
6'3", 320. Yep. Out of the state of Utah, Mark.
320.
Yep. As a high school kid.
Samoan? Is he Samoan? Is that what he is?
I believe he's Samoan.
I think so.
And then our tight end is 6'7", 235.
Nice. That's really good numbers.
Big dude.
That's a big boy.
Yep.
235. Okay.
6'7". He's 17. 6'7", 235.
He only needs to put on 15 or 20 pounds, and he'll be ready to go for college. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, about 15 more pounds.
Yep.
Whew. How's his hands? Good.
Nice hands. You can catch him one-handed. Yep.
Should I look up his huddle?
Yeah.
Only.
While you're doing that, I could bring up. We could talk about Gabe Jenkins quick if you want, or we can wait.
Yeah, the Jenkins commit.
Yeah, Gabe Jenkins. We found out the night before, so we that was kind of upsetting. Obviously, long-time Penn State guy, right outside of Pittsburgh. I thought for sure we were getting him a while, like for the last couple weeks. I told you I didn't feel great about it, and this is why. Gabe Jenkins went to Colorado. It doesn't make sense for certain reasons and makes sense for others, right? Like obviously maybe they gave him a bag. I'm sure Colorado's down bad right now. They're not a good team. I don't think they're going to be a good team. They're not recruiting at a high level consistently. The portal, they hit it hard, but they don't get what they need as a collective to make a good team.
Yeah.
They play in the Big 12 and they still can't figure it out, at least haven't yet. I mean, good luck to him. He's a very good player, good safety. He can play linebacker, running back, you name it. Doesn't matter what position. He's an athlete across the board. So that stinks. You know, we really wanted Gabe Jenkins in the class, so that one stung a little bit. Heard Colorado threw an absolute bag at him. Yeah, is what it is. Certain players, most players, really, Penn State's not going to drop a bag and outbid you. That's just not how they do things. So we know at this point Cooper Otmont's probably going to be the guy you need to get to replace not getting Gabe Jenkins. So we can talk about that if you guys have some insight.
They may have,
well, clearly they did, yeah.
And I know, you know, that you're going to see that, like we've talked about that on here before, where you're going to see that more often now, where teams that are struggling in recruiting, they're going to pick like a couple of guys that they throw bags at, right? And then if that happens, there's not a whole lot, there's not a lot you can do about that other than, I guess, just take them back in the portal later. But I think, we may be seeing that may be happening with Carter Jones too, as we speak.
It is. Yeah.
Clemson's been struggling to get their class going, and it kind of sounds like they probably threw a bag at Carter Jones.
Yep.
So it's one of those. You say it's when you're in a competition with somebody and you're winning clearly. And then what they'll do is they'll throw down the gauntlet for the last couple of seconds before they go down, right? And
this stinks because we had them, you know.
It's annoying when it happens. And so just like somebody who's punching on their way to the ground, right? They might catch you with a hook and they're still going to lose. Still over, right? But they're going to annoy you on their way down. And I kind of see that as like, you're going to see some of that with Penn State. Virginia Tech did the same thing, try and get Peter Bork, right? They're desperate to get a win, so they're going to just they're throwing haymakers on the way to the ground. So that's fine, because at the end of the day, if you stay on your principles and you keep doing the right things, they're just, the stuff that they're doing is not going to work. They're not going to last. You're going to outlast them every time. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. As long as the model that we have for the guys that we're bringing in stays consistent, we're going to be just fine. So the mistake we could make, and this is what I said, like in that mad rush, don't be the first one to panic, right? So if you panic, you lose, because that's what it is. Everybody's going to fight. They're fighting like chickens for everything. Just don't be the one that panics and you'll be fine. Yeah. But let them panic.
The only thing I can think of with the money aspect is,
my camera's being dumb.
Put your hand in front of it, Aaron, like this.
Yeah, it does that sometimes, where it just doesn't want to reset properly. Usually,
the only thing I can think of is, for example, even a Khalil Taylor, who it's looking like this is Aniti, Paiva. That was Sean Currie. He's got hands. He can block clearly, as you can see.
Yeah, good blocker.
So because we can see it with Khalil Taylor, unfortunately. if you're a Khalil Taylor, right? And to compare, he's not a Chris Henry, he's not a Jeremiah Smith, he's not a Ryan Williams, but he's still good. And he wants $2 million, and he wants his family to relocated like they did with Gabe Jenkins, it sounds like, which Penn State, the way they look at it to me is the way because Terry Smith is the recruiting guy, really. Dude, if you want $2 million and you're not even on you haven't even stepped foot on our field yet, that's crazy. So they're going to try to get a happy medium there with that kind of stuff. That's the only thing I can think of, because Penn State's not going to drop a bag. I think if they absolutely have to, they will, but they're generally just not going to do that. And it sucks because sometimes it's like with a Khalil Taylor, Gabe Jenkins, whatever, you want them to do it. Carter Jones. But that's just not what they're going to do, and it must not be worth it if that's the case. If it was worth it, they probably do it. But if it's not worth it, we have a smart staff. So it is what it is, Yeah,
we just got to trust. We got to trust that they have a game plan on who they would still like to be in the class, who wants to come to Penn State for maybe a little bit less of a risk on giving the money out without seeing the potential come in to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, like you said, Khalil Taylor, I mean, he's going to take his visits, but I mean, you got Nebraska pushing hard for him. From what I've heard, they're pushing hard. Georgia, Alabama, those are going to be hard feats there. So I'd say Nebraska, Georgia, and Alabama are going to be hard to push off when it comes to they're going to offer Khalil a lot of money. It does help that Justin King is his agent, but that's not the answer. It's not going to get us the commitment, right? He's his agent, as he's going to be unbiased as possible. He's going to rep Penn State and say it's a great school, you should go there, but it's not his decision. He's not going to invest too much time in with trying to be biased towards it. Matthew Gregory looks like he might go to Nebraska. We stopped going after him, so I mean that would make sense. We just aren't going after him anymore. So if Nebraska were to get Gregory and Taylor, that would stink. But
I doubt. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think probably what is happening there is that it looks a lot more like Taylor's going to Penn State, and both recruiting groups had to make decisions, and it was like, all right, well, we're making, Nebraska was like, we're making more tread with Gregory, so we're going to focus on Gregory, etc. That kind of happens too sometimes. But yeah, it's a case of two. You got to pick and choose. Like, if you're spending money now, which is what you're doing, then you're budgeting based on whatever your payroll is going to be, right? So you have to kind of think about what's the right approach to football. Football is a team sport. So to me, am I going to spend all the money like it's Kevin Durant on one or two guys and then hope that's good enough? I don't think that works in football. No. I think you've got to be able to bring the guys across the board. You got to have a good football team across the board for those standout guys you do get to really stand out in the first place. And you can see that, we see this in the NFL all the time. Max Crosby is probably the best pass rusher in the NFL, but he can't make the Raiders good by himself. Like, there's no saving that situation by himself. Yeah. Right. So you look at teams like the Eagles, the reason that it seems like they have tons of superstars is because the truth is they're just a lot of really good players, and their play, the ones who stand out just a little bit, look that much better. Right. Because the whole team is good, which means, your Quinyon Mitchell does not have to try and do a double assignment because he can't count on the Eagles safeties, and he can't count on Cooper DeJean and guys like that to do their job. Like, he can focus on doing his job because those guys are good enough to do their job. And so I think the approach, it's the approach Indiana's had. It's the approach a lot of the successful programs have now, which is a balanced attack. Make sure you have really good players everywhere, and then you can have those like couple of guys that stand out really, really well in that group. But usually those guys kind of develop into that. You don't need to have a 5-star dude to do that. And you can see what happens when it doesn't work. How many players, Texas A&M has been 5-star loaded for years. How many of those guys even made it to the NFL?
Not a lot.
Right. And Texas A&M was perpetually 8-4 until they got their new coach, until Elko coach showed up.
True. Yep.
So,
yeah, Jadon, that's a great point.
Yeah.
They're 5 months in. That's what I was going to say. They're 5 months in. It could take us a year or two to be really legitimate. But I think if they keep building it like they're building it, and they're not dropping money on these guys like you just said, one guy like Virginia Tech did, that's not even going to play for like 4 years. Then that's what they're doing.
And they're saving, and they're saving money and they're saving some of this money that they have on deck for the portal class for next year, because we're going to lose a lot of seniors from that Iowa State guys that came over. So we're going to need some fill-in spots in the gaps that we have. So it's not going to be as portal heavy as this season, obviously, but we're still probably get 15 guys or so maybe for next year's portal class. So something to look into.
Yeah, that is a thing. Funding is now a thing. So that's something we got to keep in mind. But they're 5 months in. That's what I try to keep in mind. They're 5 months in. I mean, dude, they've done so much in 5 months. You know, it's kind of crazy how much they've done in 5 months. So
yeah, they have.
That is one thing that we do. We all know that it's like we like Brett just said. You know, we got to trust in them. I've always said believe in the staff. I mean, we got to remember where we were. I mean, first of all, the firing, all of that, on top of the fact that we could never get over that hump. We had so much talent. We could never get over that hump. Now, there was games in the past where I came out of the game being like, people are blaming Franklin, but Franklin can't play for the team. But what James Franklin could do was put them in positions to win, let Drew Aller go out there and ball, take more risks in game, which he never did. That's it. Like, and the coaches lost us all of those big games because they were not calling the correct plays. They weren't scheming it correctly. They weren't letting guys just go out there and throw, ball out. That's what it came down to. So all of the heartbreaking losses, all of the close losses that we had, we lost to Ohio State by like 4 points in like 2 years or something like that. Like we were so close many times.
Yep.
And it just didn't happen. We were never beating Ohio State. If Michigan was good, we never beaten them. Oregon, you could argue they weren't even really they weren't all that good. They got smoked by Indiana.
Oh yeah.
We had a close loss to them. And we lost to them. Like, I think we were the superior team compared to them this year, but just could never get over that hump. So we just got to remember where we were at. Like, we have a real staff now. We have real coaches. Terry Smith is there. Like, we're in a much better spot. So whatever they're doing, it's for a reason, for sure. So,
yeah. And I think too that they may still splash guys later on in this class, but again, the main goal here is you got to get a good foundation in place, and that means backfilling depth, getting quality players who play hard every down, and then you can, your Khalil Taylors and guys like that. Yeah, maybe you do go spend some money, a little extra on them once you have that good base. But I think right now, Campbell and them have jumped on it. I mean, they're recruiting at an incredible pace. I don't know how they manage what they have.
5 months in.
Yeah, 5 months in, and they're already putting out a class that's, pretty close. It's already pretty close to the best stuff that Franklin ever did at Penn State. So it's it's hard to fault him on any of it. I don't know what else to tell you. It's like, and I still think, you got your Khalil Taylors, and there's still several guys like Cooper Onmock, who I think there's a very good chance they end up coming to Penn State too. I also think, like I said before, there's several guys who I think are going to be upgraded in this class by the end of the year. Sean Currie's one of them. I expect him to be a 4-star officially by the end of this year. And yeah, you should play that.
Well, the music's in it. It'll probably demonetize.
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
you don't want that. Yeah.
I'll just whatever. I'll cut it out if I have to.
I will take my next 3 to 4 years at Penn State. I know this is known as Tight End University, so I'm going to go compete, and I'm going to continue with that legacy. So, all right. Well, thank you for making your decision here live show and right now in the comment section. Thank you. Congratulations. Go Penn State. Yeah, thank you. We are.
So I want to
Chase
play it again so you can
Alexander's
see him
another
stand up, dude. Look how tall he is.
Now with that, I will take my next 3 to 4 years.
Basketball player.
Dude, he's so tall. Like, watch this part where he stands up. He's above the athletics. Like, look where that hold on, sorry. Let me do it again. Like, there's an athletics thing like 9 feet above his head, and he stands over it.
Yeah. Well, like I say, he's like a power forward. But
Look at that.
that's what you want in tight ends now. Yeah.
Yep. That's tall.
I mean, he's big. He's gonna get bigger, man. Like, he's 235 for 6'7". Like, I'm 6'1", 245. He's 6'7", 235. So if he gets up to like 250, 260, he's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
You know?
250. Yeah.
Big thing is you just don't want to lose that
No.
athleticism that he has, because that is being that big and being able to move like he does is a huge advantage. So you don't want to lose half a step there.
Yeah.
But if he can gain about 15, 20 pounds while keeping his step, he'd be pretty scary.
Yeah, because Bramer's like 258 or something, so I think he gained a few pounds. So the same height. So
yeah,
Bramer's like what, 6'7"? I thought we had a 6'8" guy. Is that our backup, 6'8"?
no, Bramer's 6'7" as well. So he's the tallest one we have. Yep. We had a 6'8" offensive tackle. Yeah.
Rap's what, 6'6"?
Rap
is 6'4".
6'4", I think. Right?
He's a little shorter, but I mean 6'4" for a tight end is normal.
Yeah, but Rap is also really compact and powerful.
Yeah.
And,
he's thick.
But he has that athleticism too.
He's a freaky athletic kid. Yeah.
But I could see, we still have
They crossed oceans so I could chase something they never got to. Every rep, every early morning, every long night for them. They asked where I'd go. I already knew. Blue and white, a new home, a new legacy. I am Penn State. My family isn't from here. They crossed oceans so I could chase something they never got to.
Whew. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crossed oceans.
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
Those are 2 great videos that they put up. But go ahead, Aaron. Yeah.
No, I was just saying Case Alexander is still on our list. Cooper Onmock is still on our list. Khalil Taylor is still on our list. There's still a lot of high level talent that we're still pegged for, or we're still the most likely to get. So we still got a lot coming. Yeah.
Alexander's taking a while. I thought we would have had him by now, man. But who knows? Maybe he wants to take his visits.
Yeah. He may just not be in a rush, which is not no harm in that.
Dad, we do need an edge, J-Don, but keep in mind we have McPherson, we have Yvonne, we have Granville, we have 3 young edges. But yes, we do need a guy, 100%. We'll probably get one in the portal next year. But yeah, we do need an edge for sure. But we are okay there, in my opinion, because we have 3 young guys.
We got to start stacking though, because we were still kind of short at that position overall. So if you can get 1 or 2, there's that underrated guy Gertin or whatever that Joe was talking about. underrated guy that Penn State
Yeah,
likes.
Guillotine. Yeah.
Guillotine. So if you can't, Abraham Sesse is still in the mix, but it's just you don't know. He's not going to commit till late June probably. So
yeah, Sesse is that's another big one that we're still in the running
huge.
for.
He's a 5-star.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I watched the film on the tight end and the other big guy there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the tight end, good blocker. I was looking for his blocking, and yeah, he was pushing those guys down the field. So really good hands, pushing kids back.
Mm-hmm.
He's dominating. You know, you're 6'7", and you have somebody that's 6'7" on you, you're gonna be a little bit intimidated. So I wanted to see his blocking, because tight ends have to block and then throw the block off and, you know, find an open field, and then just give the quarterback 2 or 3 more seconds is all you need. The big guy, the film that I watched, he was playing both ways. Is that?
Yep.
Did I see that right?
Yep. He's going to be a defensive tackle for us, but plays both ways.
Oh man, that was pretty impressive. I thought he was just on defense, but okay, he's got a lot of work to do. I mean, but Terry will straighten him up. And then, yeah, under Coach Franklin, we had a lot of talent. Too much. Maybe they were tripping over each other.
Yeah.
Or the egos got in the way, or you know what I mean? Yeah, and then I'm just excited to see what Coach Terry can do, is, you know, in the background, developing these players, you know, 1-star, 2-star.
Yeah.
They come in as 1 or 2, but, you know, Terry will probably make them leave as 5 stars. That's all, for life. Maybe not to the NFL, but for life in general.
Yeah.
So that's my take. I'm very impressed with these 2 recruits here.
Yeah. Good pickups, and as you guys just saw, we're number 5. Moving up. We were 7. We were 4, then we were 8, 7. Now we're 5. We have 20 commits. That's a 5 months, man.
Wow.
We're averaging 5 commits a month. Right?
Yeah. I think
and Jameer
more than us.
4 commits a month. Yeah.
Jameer Dean is a consensus 4-star now too, by the way, guys. Not just in 247 in the industry, and he still can move. He's still going to move up because he's that good. He's a high 4-star.
Yeah, he is.
So what are we looking at edgewise right now?
Well, we have Carter Blattner, who we committed earlier. Carter Blattner would be an edge for us. Yeah, there he is. He's listed as defensive line, but he's an edge guy.
Okay.
So
6'5", 260.
Yep. So he would be an edge rusher.
He's a monster.
Does he have what's his 40? Do we know?
I don't think that they have that for him, at least not official.
Yeah, I don't think they really do that much for high school.
He's more of a power rusher, kind of the way he plays. Yeah.
But right now, that's the only edge commit we have.
Yeah.
The defensive line, you know, we got Paiva, who just came on. I think we have, and then of course Stanley Montgomery, who's the headliner right now. But
and then for linebacker, if you get Case Alexander, you still want to get one more. So the other one's probably going to be like a Tyson Washington. I think that's the one that they're shooting for, but Virginia Tech's in the mix too. So
yeah, I mean, if you land Alexander and Blake Betton, you're in pretty good shape because we already have Blake Betton. But it would be nice to land. I don't know the details, Jadon, about the Elijah Reeder recruitment background. I just know.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, we talked about him a good bit once we got him on how he was a late climber in the ratings. I mean, Iowa State. He was committed to Iowa State with Matt Campbell, and you know, it took him a while to catch on to Penn State, but he blew up at the end. I mean, he's 6'6" edge, super fast and twitchy. I don't know what story you mean. I mean, the fact that we got him later, and he was a hidden gem in the class because Matt Campbell was on him when not many schools were on him. So like lower level schools.
Mhm.
So
He's definitely my type of edge. Like he's a
Yeah.
long, lanky guy. Like I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned that. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like a Josh Sweat.
And we have Jackson Ford as well, J Don, at edge. So but yeah,
Yes,
we do
we
need
also
to get
brought in
a guy or
Johnson.
two in this class for sure.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think that's a big part of the reason, because of Reeder and Ford being in there, that they're not super worried about this class for edge, just because your headliners are probably, for the next few years, those guys are the ones who are going to be working into being the headliners for the edge rush. And you're in pretty decent shape with the guys you've got right this minute. So I can see why, you can kind of tell they've been prioritizing the secondary a lot. Tight end. Then they wanted to get our quarterback situation. That's another guy who I expect him to be a 4-star by the end of the year. Will Wood, I really doubt Will Wood stays a 3-star. And then wide receiver. We needed to just stabilize wide receiver. And we got some really good ones in Landon Bloom and Jameer Dean already.
Mm-hmm.
And Khalil Taylor is still in play for us. So
we need to keep Jameer Dean badly too. He can't flip. We need to keep
Jameer Dean is a really good pickup. So
yeah, he
one of my
is.
favorites in the class. One of my all-time favorites in the class.
Yeah. Like this, like the receiving group as a whole, tight ends, wide receivers, all that. They have a really, really strong start. Like this is the kind of class that you look at down the road and go, whew, they're going to be really stacked in that receiving room over the next few years. So especially if you add Khalil Taylor onto this, my goodness.
Yeah.
So really strong group. Running back Aiden Gibson, of course. But yeah, there's a couple of guys. I like Kayshawn Telfair is a guy I could see being
really good.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous, because he's got like Travis Hunter like skill level.
Yeah, he's. I mean, for 6 foot, he's a pretty long guy,
Yep.
Yeah.
And then underrated, like still, I think is our first commit in the class, which was Samaje Robinson. Man, I think he's going to climb too.
Mm-hmm.
A long corner. He's like a Joey Porter Jr. type. So
yeah, and
he is.
I still think and like Jadon was saying, I think a lot of this class, there's a lot of guys in here who I think are going to continue going up as they get scouted better. I'd put real money on Will Wood being a 4-star by the end of the year. Sean Currie is another one. I think it's just automatic. They're going to be 4-stars by the end of the year minimum. I wouldn't be surprised. Kayshawn could end up a 5-star. So it's all said.
Yeah, he could.
Yep.
Stanley could too, honestly.
Stanley
could
too.
Yeah, he could too. But a lot of underappreciated. Karan Caesar is another guy I could see climbing up. So, yeah, very, very strong looking class of guys so far.
Caesar, I could see. I mean, what do you think about Gibson being a 5?
Aiden Gibson?
Yeah.
He's probably going to stay.
I doubt they'd give him a 5 unless during the end of this high school year they play some high-level high school games and he's still running people over like they aren't in his way. Yeah. If that happens, they might bump him to a 5-star.
Like Keemon, for example, he's competing against him. Like that's an example, same class. But there's just some guys that I think could climb up for sure, like Stanley, Kayshawn, Jameer. I mean, is it possible for him to end up as a 5?
Jameer Dean, maybe, but I think he's going to end up being a higher 4-star. All said and done. Yeah,
I would agree with that.
There's only 32 5-stars. It's so hard to get that
5-star. Yeah, and it depends. Like some places have different rules for 5-star. Like some of them have like a set number, which I never understood that. But I think I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was ESPN. ESPN's recruiting is weird, but we're only allowed to have so many 5-stars. Okay, I don't know why that works that way.
Yeah,
but
Aaron, you said Kayshawn, maybe Stanley could end up being 5s, you think?
I could see Kayshawn for sure, because I think this scouting wise, if he keeps playing at the level he is, and he's a two-way guy, and you see those shades of Travis Hunter in him, I can definitely see scouts changing their mind about him. The Jameer Dean maybe, but the guys I really see like they're just underrated right now is like Will Wood is just underrated. I think Currie is just underrated.
Will's going to be a 4.
Yeah, like sure. I see them as being blatantly underrated at the moment. The who else was I thinking of? Possibly maybe Zachary Gleason. I could see him climbing. I don't know if he'll make 4-star, but I could see him going up.
He should be going up, yeah.
So
Owen Riley, he's I'm sorry. What is he 27?
Yeah, offensive lineman.
That's right, Jadon. Yeah, it's on 3 that limits the 32 5-stars because they say, oh, they're the 32 first-round picks that they estimate, which is just
idiotic.
My problem with that is that the point that's not an evaluation, right? Like we're guessing that they're going to be the first-round picks. Well, based on that, then no running back should ever be a 5-star because they don't pick running backs in the first round, or it's a bad value. Right? Like, I'm not going to evaluate a player based on what I think the NFL is going to take him as, like when he hasn't even started high school. I think or he hasn't even started college. I think that's kind of crazy to me. But
yeah, I was explaining this to someone tonight. They have 32 5-stars because that's 32 first-round picks. That's why they're 5-stars.
Yep.
Which to me doesn't really, as you said, make sense. I mean, if you think of Keemon Spell, like you can see him, like he's going to be a first-round pick. He's a freak, but it's like, how do you know? Like, how do you?
Yeah,
know
but even him, like, there's no. Well, first off, he hasn't even started college yet. So how are you supposed to know where he's going to go in the NFL? Second, he runs a position that the NFL undervalues on purpose because from a roster value perspective, it's a bad value position.
Yep.
Right? Like, so does that mean no running back can ever be a 5-star? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like
every quarterback could be a 5-star if we're talking first-round picks because quarterbacks, they get pushed into
like
first round all the time.
Hugely disproportionate number of quarterbacks. If you were actually trying to project them as first-round picks, that's how you'd have to do it. So either you're not projecting them properly as first-round picks in the first place, which defeats the whole purpose of the 32-man limit, or you're just not you're evaluating them based on what you hope they'll be instead of what you actually can project them to be in college football. So, and that's kind of why I said, like, I agree with a lot of what On3 does, but I also disagree with, like, there's a lot of things I prefer what 247 does because On3 really, they evaluate physical. They're very, like, they just look at the physical characteristics of players a lot of times. They value that highly, and they don't value depth in the class as much. So 247 values class depth a lot more than On3 does. And it's because 247 understands the idea that probably more than half the guys you get are not really going to pan out the way you hope, right? And so having depth is actually part of developing a team in the first place and getting the most out of your players. And so I can understand and appreciate On3's, like, they just give you, like, the average rating of the player that's your class rating. And that's just what they set it as. But think about it for a second. If you could have a class, because of the way On3 does it, right? I could have a class where I have 4 of the 5-stars on one team, but because the rest of my class is 2-stars, my average would be like 50th in recruiting, right? But then at the same time, I could have a class that's nothing but 3-stars, but they're all like 88, 89, and that would put me in the top 10. Right? Like, it doesn't quite work. And that's why I said, like, I actually think 247 does a better job of class evaluation, but On3 does a better job of, like, unique player evaluation of their actual skill sets. And then On3 tends to be a little bit better at predicting where they're going to go with their crystal ball.
First of all, On3, the fact that they include ESPN in anything is absolute blasphemy.
Wow.
They're
That's
horrible.
part of their problem. Yeah.
ESPN is horrendous with recruiting. So it sucks that they're a part of it, but that's the industry. It's like ESPN is a joke when it comes to recruiting. Like
Except for Will Wood. They hit Will Wood on this one.
Did they?
At 4 stars.
I didn't catch what their ESPN's was for Will Wood.
Like I remember Drew Aller, dude. They had him at
top
like
20.
they had Drew Aller. He was like the 30th. He was like Drew Aller was I think the number one quarterback. Well, I think Drew Aller was technically the second quarterback in his class, but
yeah,
like I mean, ESPN had him at like so far down. I'm like, that makes no sense at all. Like as physically gifted as he was, I'm like, what? That makes no sense. But yeah. So you know, I'm more of a 247 guy. That's who I look at for like true ranking. Like look at this. Drew Aller was number 1 in his class, number 1 in his position, number 3 nationally, and they had him down at like, I think he was out of the top 100 on ESPN.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And again, like and Jadon, I think you're right. They use like the top 8 guys, but again, the issue with that is the class isn't just 8 guys, right? It's just a bad evaluation method for the class as a whole. It's not an appropriate way to evaluate a class. But in terms of evaluating players, though, I do think On3 generally does a better job of their initial, like 247 will just not even have an eval on half the players in the sport for a really long time, and then they'll fix it later. But On3, their class evals, I generally don't give them a ton of credence. And now I understand that On3 got that because back in the day, classes were more stabilized. So like your Texas was not taken. The Texas, like their first 20 dudes would be like all 4 stars, right? So it was a lot easier for you to go, well, the top 8 versus the top 8 of Alabama, that probably is a fair evaluation of the difference between those 2 classes. But that's not how the world works anymore. And they need to adjust that because right now, the fact is the depth is not there, which is why the SEC has fallen apart, right? They are not what they used to be because they don't have, they're not 5 guys deep with 4-star and 5-star caliber guys anymore. They can't work that way. And so I think this way of class evaluating just doesn't really work anymore. They need to, I think On3 and ESPN need to revisit how they're doing that. Yeah. And if anything, Indiana probably the one throwing the biggest wrench into that.
But I just want to kind of end with this on the recruiting side. This is 2022 class, okay? Eight overall ranking composite. We were 6. That's the best class Franklin ever had.
Yeah.
Drew Aller, 5-star, number 1 in his position. Singleton, 5-star, number 1 in his position. Deny, 5-star, he was a freak. He was a late 5-star. Caden Saunders didn't do anything. No offense to him. Yeah. Drew Shelton, not that good. Cam Miller transferred out. Katron was Katron.
Yeah.
Anthony Ivy, don't remember what happened to him. Mecky Flowers, don't remember what happened to him. Jerry Cross, he transferred, I think. Christian Driver.
Transferred. Minnesota.
I mean, my God, dude. Like, look at it. Abdul Carter, Ken Talley. Half these guys didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So you talk about recruiting, man. Like, my goodness gracious. Like, look at that. 7-6.
Well,
senior year.
Yeah, I mean that's why we say like rankings aren't everything, right? You can't get too hung up on the stars because again, Texas A&M, how many years? You could just point at every single year for Texas A&M from like 2012 to 2024, and it's just, oh, look at all these 5 stars. Like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Kevin Winston, JB Nelson, Amari Evans, transfer, Zane Durant, Vega. Vega was a 3.
He was a 3.
Man.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a Hall of Famer, they're saying. And him and Caleb Downs.
He's practically an automatic All-American in the NFL.
We're like the 2 automatic Hall of Famers in this draft. You know what I mean? Like, and he's a 3-star kid. Bo Biola left. Keon Wiley, he's in Virginia Tech, I think.
He's actually Tech, yeah.
Caleb Artis, Tyler Johnson. Like, I don't even remember these guys,
Tyler Johnson transferred out. Yep.
Colin Dinkins, which is Khalil's brother. Like Norzad, he did all right. Chop did good. Mitchell Tinsley, probably the best transfer receiver we had in Franklin's era.
Yeah.
Mitchell Tinsley was killing it in the NFL last year. Mitchell Tinsley had some games at the Bengals, dude.
So
I was rooting for him.
Like, if you're looking at this class, man, the guys that weren't big star guys, like they were the best.
A lot of them, yeah.
I mean, we lost half these freaking people, you know.
Yeah.
And like Hunter Norzad, another guy I think we could have gotten more out of. But Mitchell Tinsley, you know, all due respect to Deshaun Hamilton, he was a better Deshaun Hamilton. You know, he was. He had good hands. He could run. He had a good, similar body type, similar route runner.
Yeah.
He really broke out in that
hands.
Auburn game.
Yeah.
He broke out in that Auburn game when we went down there.
Tinsley had a big day on Auburn.
Yeah. But if you think about it, I know this is the previous staff, but my God, the first game for Drew Aller was his best game. Maybe throw USC in there. Nick Singleton, first year. Katron, first year. Best they had. And like Singleton, I mean, a shell of himself this year. Katron was Katron. Katron was just a bulldozer.
Katron kept on trying.
You know, Katron was basically a baby LJ. He had legs. He had a motor. He could run. He was the all reliable, you know, Katron. He didn't really. Katron could have been much better, not to no fault of his own. He could have been much better, but he was still pretty good for what he was here.
Katron was always injured on the off season. That's why.
Yeah,
for him specifically.
And I think his demeanor, man, Katron's demeanor was just like he was just a chill guy. You know, he had a good mindset, just a good dude. But yeah, Javen Williams is another one.
Yeah, he was
like
a
5-star man.
Yeah, he was overrated.
Like,
sure.
Man, yeah, people can miss me with the stars. Amen to that. But yeah, we know with this new staff, man, it doesn't matter who they get. That you know that they're fit, they're going to develop. They're not going to be playing a Liam Clifford over Kobe Howard. Like, that's asinine.
Yeah.
You're like, guys are going to be. Let's say I walked onto the football team right now. If I'm working hard and I'm doing good, I'm going to be recognized. That doesn't mean I'm going to play much, but they're going to they will recognize that. The previous staff did not do that.
Yeah.
So a walk-on at Penn State now is different than a walk-on at Penn State under the previous coach. That's
yeah. Speaking of,
yeah, what was that guy's name?
Yeah. So I put this into chat, and I don't know how many folks in the Penn State community were paying attention to it. I really like this young guy. I think he has. That's
our portal ranking right there. Pretty good. VT's not even in the top 25.
I think I did put that in our Instagram, right?
Yeah. What's his name again?
So
I'll find it.
Yeah, it's Jake Laverda. Or Jake Laverty, sorry. But he's an Ohio kid.
By the way, hold on. Sorry.
Oh no.
Why did they do this? Look at this. I thought this was real. I thought that was real.
Oh, that was so funny, man.
Why did they do that?
So funny.
Mark,
just imagine if that's what it looked like.
That hair never existed. Okay, that is an AI image of James Franklin.
But why did they do that though? That's what I don't get. Like, why did they do that to him? That probably pissed him off.
No, it was so weird.
He definitely didn't like that.
Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he wanted a mullet. Maybe he always wanted a mullet. But
I mean, he could pull it off, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's a lot of hair, man.
It's a lot of hair. The Jake Laverde from Ohio.
Yeah, I got it.
He's a quarterback. I believe it's Kirtland that he plays for. There you go. Yeah. So this is a really, really interesting young guy. He gets very little credit. This guy was like single-handedly doing some pretty insane things. And he's one of these guys that you talked about Elijah Reeder earlier. This might be an Elijah Reeder kind of guy where everybody just ignores him because he's not from the right school in the right place in the right town, right? He's been absolutely smoking. If you look at his stats and the things he's been doing in high school for the last 3 years, it's absolutely insane. Like dude, this dude could play almost any position. Like, he's extremely athletic. He can do tons of different things. Yeah. Yeah, here's some of his tape. He's a really, fun player.
That Iowa kid, that Gronkowski kid, he had like 900 yards rushing against us because we couldn't stop a quarterback run.
Yeah, exactly. He's a very interesting athlete. And so this was one of those times where, he's coming as technically a preferred walk-on, but he's a really interesting player, and I got to keep an eye on.
Don't they call them gray shirts? Preferred walk-ons? Don't they call them gray shirts?
Yeah, I think that was the term they used to use, gray shirting, yeah.
Because my boy Jamal Alborough, he played running back at State College. They called him Baby LJ. Larry Johnson literally called him Baby LJ himself, Jamal Alborough. He ended up playing at Lock Haven, but he was a gray shirt at Penn State at one point. Yeah. Really nice kid. He was really good at running back, obviously. Called him Baby LJ, but yeah, I've heard that term from him, the gray shirt type thing. I think a preferred walk-on. That's what Tyler Lucas was, I believe, the kid I tried out with, the $5 million Mr. Beast kid. I think he was a gray shirt preferred walk-on.
Yeah.
At quarterback. But, are you finished with that?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to call attention to this one because it's interesting.
Yeah, because we missed it. We all missed it. We didn't even know. I'd never heard of it until you said that, so.
Yeah, I occasionally check. I like to check in on high schools that get overlooked a lot, and especially in states like Ohio and PA and New Jersey, because there's so many recruiting big schools in those states that there's a lot of small town schools where guys get severely overlooked. We actually had one right down the road from me here in York, PA. We had Chad Henne. Chad Henne got completely overlooked until the very end, right, of his recruiting. Yeah. He ended up being an absolutely huge quarterback.
You know who Penn State took over Chad Henne?
Oh yeah, I remember. It was who was it? It would have been 2000.
It was Morelli.
Was it Morelli? It was Anthony Morelli. Yeah,
that's took Morelli over Chad Henne. And they based it all solely off of this little camp that they had. Chad Henne Morelli looked better than Henne, so they took Morelli. Oops. And I'll tell you what, man, Morelli was the number one quarterback in his class. He was out of Pittsburgh, and he had an arm.
He did.
He had a great, powerful arm. Inaccurate from the neck up, didn't have it. That was his whole thing.
That was his thing.
Oh, dude.
And Henne was a warrior. People around here knew him really well.
You know why Morelli wore 14, right?
No.
Because Todd Blackledge told him to.
Oh, Blackledge. Okay, yeah.
I mean, he's the number one quarterback in his class, man. There was so much hype around him. I remember that. I remember his first game against Akron. He threw a 60-yard bomb to I think it was Deion Butler. But
Butler, oh gosh, yeah.
He had all of the talent in the world. But anyway, all right. Anybody else got anything to say about recruiting, Dad? Dad's a big Terry fan, so.
Was that a quarterback you were talking about, Aaron?
Yeah, well, he's playing quarterback right now, but he's probably going to be as an athlete.
Wide receiver, I'm thinking, because sometimes they'll turn quarterbacks into wide receivers, really good wide receivers.
I think he had something like, 6,000 rushing yards, 12,000 passing yards, and he did all kinds of stuff for them. So
it's exciting. Brett, you mentioned off season. Katron Allen, you said he lifted a lot?
This past off season for Katron Allen, his senior year was the only off season he was healthy for.
Yeah.
So every other year, spring ball, fall, he was injured every time. So he wasn't able to get faster and stronger to his full potential because he was always injured. That's why you saw this year, this was his best year out of all of them by far because he was actually healthy. Yep.
Well, his freshman year, Brett, was, that was good too,
No, it was good, but this year he did more. He was just a complete back overall. He did more. Yeah.
Stronger, faster. Yeah.
And
that comment. Also, I love all our recruits are hyping up each other's commitments. This class feels different.
They are.
Yeah, especially that tight end and that big guy there. It's just the way they presented themselves on the film.
Mhm.
It's just that can spread too and bring other kids in. So I like that comment. And I was thinking that to myself before that guy made that comment. They're I like it. I like this class.
Yeah, they are supporting each other 100%. Like, and there's been guys when they committed, a guy who's not yet committed is hyping it up because they're probably going to Penn State, you know. So the one thing is true across the board. These kids love this staff. That's why they're committing to Penn State. They love the staff. I mean, this Paiva kid, he's from Utah. Dude, that's in another country. You know, that's not even close to State College. So that's a totally different culture, totally different state. They got different weather. I mean, because I think they have like, I know they have winter, but they have like different kind of winters than us too. Like, you know what I mean? Right?
Well,
Aaron, am I right about that?
Kind of like a desert.
Drier, yeah. So, because it's not really
drier,
humid there, right?
Like it snows the same, and it actually gets insanely cold in some places.
Yeah.
But like it's desert type weather. So like daytime, nighttime, huge shift in the temperatures. And then out there, I always used to joke like there's no trees anywhere. But if it's a different environment. It gets really hot in the summer. Actually, I would say it leans to the colder side. It actually gets hotter here most of the time in the summer. Like, but it's because we have humidity that they don't have. They have like that desert heat, right? So it's hot. It gets like the sun is brutal in Utah, but here, like you don't get that 98% humidity that we can get here, right? So, but our winters,
higher elevation.
Yeah, like they get snow the same way we do, and they get mountains of it, but they don't. It's not as wet. Like it's not just you just don't have that soaked winter, right? So,
plus Cooper Terwilliger is from South Dakota too, so that's another one.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever got one from South Dakota. That's just crazy.
That's Aaron's recruiting pitch for Pennsylvania weather. Come to Pennsylvania if you want the worst weather possible, basically.
Yeah, well, I think who was it? There's a car YouTuber that always makes me laugh from PA. And he said, I remember they had a video. He's like, yeah, Pennsylvania has all the weather and has all the seasons and they're all raging. It's just how Pennsylvania is. So that's why we have our state. We say our state flag should have a traffic cone on it.
Well, it's like an annual thing for me. Wait, what'd you say?
Our state flag should have a traffic cone on it because we always have to fix the roads.
Our state. What is it? The state animal. Our state emblem is a traffic cone. It's
it should be. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, our state animal is a traffic.
It's PennDOT. It's PennDOT. They got the upside down pocket on their shirt so they can put a shovel in there and lean on it.
Yeah.
Aaron, you should put a "Welcome to Pennsylvania" sign in your yard with the Yuengling lager on it. You should do that.
Yeah, I drink my share. Gotta keep it.
Yeah. Aaron keeps them in business. But Yuengling, Aaron moved to the area he lives in so he could just walk down to Yuengling factory. They just pass it to him through a window.
I wish I was that close. Unfortunately, I'm not close enough to that.
But Dad's dad, they used to drink Genesee Light and Yuengling, right, Dad?
Genesee, yep.
Genesee, Keystone, and I thought Yuengling too, maybe not.
Keystone, yeah.
Genesee, you couldn't pay me to drink that.
It's not that bad, right? No. The worst stuff I ever had was that, just off on a tangent here, but the worst stuff I ever had was also some of my favorite stuff, and I've never found it again. When I was living in Georgia with the Army, we had this little we had this little like on base gas station, and they sold something there called Earthquake. And Earthquake was this, it was lager in a can, but it was like a tall boy can. It was huge. And it looked like an energy drink. You couldn't tell it was liquor. You couldn't tell it was beer. And they charged you like $1.60 for one, like this big, huge can. And disgusting. It was like something insane. It was like 18% alcohol lager.
Oh, wow. God.
And I'm telling you, it tasted
like a malt liquor.
Like it was like turpentine rubbed in an old man's foot. Like it was terrible. But the funny part was it tasted so bad that it came around to being good again. Like you couldn't stop drinking it. You're like, I don't understand. This stuff is awful. But yeah, I have never found that again. I would 100% buy a can of that if I could find it again.
Dude, nothing's worse than a 40 like malt liquor, like a St. Ides or
The
like
cheap
they're
ones,
just
yeah, St.
terrible,
Ides.
dude. Oh my god.
I grew up on
Horrible.
Genesee.
Yeah, I had a lot of buddies from Mexico and like South America in the army, and the famous one for us was Tecate. Tecate was a cheap garbage.
Yeah, Tecate,
yeah. Which Tecate actually wasn't bad. Just don't mix it with like, don't do what I did and mix it with like Irish liquor. That was a bad night.
Did you guys ever have Blue Wave, like that flavored vodka, like just garbage? Bankers Club, Vladimir, obviously Vlad.
That was right there with Military Special, just raw turpentine in a bottle. That stuff was terrible.
You could save somebody's life with that stuff. Throw it on their wound. Dude,
you could. Yeah, I used
Blue
to
Wave.
With the Military Special vodka, we used to joke you could sear a wound shut with it. Just dump it on it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, Blue Wave. That's something that I cannot drink again. That's for
sure. Oh
my
god, it's horrible.
But well, we can have a shot. Everclear.
Yeah.
To these new recruits.
One of my favorites, Everclear and lemonade.
Oh.
Everclear and lemonade.
Kill you. I'll sneak up on you.
They were using Everclear during COVID to clean mats and stuff.
I mean, it works.
It does, yeah.
We used to drink it when we went to when I was in the army. We went to a couple of disaster recovery things, and we had a bus full of us, and we were passing this bottle of Everclear and lemonade around the bus the whole way there. I think it was one of the hurricanes in Houston. We were going to clean up after.
You know, it'll sneak up on you. 151. That stuff will kill you, dude.
Yeah, Bacardi 151. I don't.
You can't even tell it's 151. It just kills you.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is, honestly.
Bacardi 151. It's like the highest 75% alcohol. It's the highest one Bacardi carries, I think. And that stuff, you could throw it in there with Pepsi or whatever. You don't even notice it, dude. It just goes down.
Yeah. Soju, Korean soju is like the Koreans will actually try to get Americans when you first go to Korea. They'll get you to sit down and drink soju with them, and they'll play a drinking game with you because you won't realize how bad off you are until you try to stand up. And then it would be a drinking game to try and get you, and then you try to stand up and you fall down and hit the ground.
What was that? Was it Bacardi that it was like the darker liquor? It came in a plastic bottle. It wasn't Captain Morgan, but it kind of looked like Captain Morgan. You know, it wasn't Bacardi. It was like dark liquor, and it came in a plastic bottle. I think it was Bacardi.
It might have been early Bacardi.
It might have been one of them. Yeah, 151's it's a brown rum. Yeah, it's not a clear one.
No, I don't think.
But it comes in a glass bottle, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a glass bottle.
It was something with a pirate on it. It wasn't. It wasn't.
My buddy drinks that stuff. It's
What is it?
It's an imitation of Captain Morgan, but it's not. It's
it's Canadian Windsor's terrible. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's not Canadian Windsor.
Canadian Windsor is awful. I used to. Oh my god! In high school, you guys had that though, right? Canadian Windsor, terrible.
Yeah, I know Canadian Winter. That one's a classic.
We used to throw water in my buddy's his parents. We'd throw water in there after we'd fix them.
Aaron, what is it?
It's Admiral Nelson. Admiral, because it's the knockoff of Captain Morgan. It's Admiral Nelson. I had my buddy drinks that stuff. Yeah,
that's terrible. Shout out to the guy who's still killing it. Yeah.
It must have been. It must have been Admiral because it tasted so bad. But
I don't know why he drinks it. My body loves that stuff.
But my old roommate, he used to take shots of that, dude. I'm like, what do you?
Because it was just cheap. It was cheap Captain Morgan rum, except it's not as good. I don't.
Yeah.
But he likes the cherry one, and I don't. He still drinks that all the time.
Well, really nothing good of anything we just talked about was a good choice in drinking.
No.
So just don't stay away from all that.
Yep.
But all right, guys. College football. Talking college football. Just some storylines. Nothing real hard hitting or anything, but there was one or two subjects that I wanted to talk with Aaron about, which one was, So one of them was the Ed Orgeron going to LSU. I said Georgia and LSU need to be in GTA 6.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, my goodness, man.
So
they said that Orgeron and Lane Kiffin are going to be fighting over sorority girls.
Well, and I'd say, yeah, they're going to have competition. Everybody. It's on the one hand, it's hilarious. On the other hand, like if I was being serious about it, it's a very strange decision.
It just doesn't make sense, man. Like,
yeah,
the guy was
for
the head coach there.
100K. That's all he's getting.
That's
100K.
100K. That's all he's getting.
Yeah. But what's his title?
He's just an assistant, like an analyst. Like, yeah,
that is very
type of assistant analyst. Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
But he's not hurting for money, so that part doesn't matter. But still, it's weird.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm an Ed Orgeron guy. I like Ed Orgeron.
Oh, I love his attitude.
He's
hilarious. Yeah.
Probably the best team of all time in 2019 LSU. That's probably the best.
He's
team
got the
ever.
most interesting voice too. It's like really weird. It's a very weird voice.
Yeah, we used to make jokes about that Patrick Mahomes is actually his kid, but the thing that's strange to me about it is just you're bringing in. It's just such an odd thing to do this late to bring a guy in like that. Now and LSU, I guess they just like collecting drama under their roof. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because now they have two coaches with big personalities in the same room, and they're both known for drama, which usually is not a great idea. But it's funny. So like I said, but it makes sense when you think about it because Lane Kiffin, the guy's practically days of our lives in human form, right? Mm-hmm. And so what better way? This is just like I expect of a Days of Our Lives episode, right? They gotta have some drama.
Right, Louisiana. Hold on a second. Hey guys, hey, I'm having a press conference, okay? Thank you. Great young man. So proud that we have him. Great parents. And
switch up, dude.
Just a young man. We had to fix the line of scrimmage. We wanted to get bigger. I'll stop. Hey, stop the ball. Stop the drill. I'm having a press conference. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, hello.
We had to fix the line of scrimmage. Went all the way to Michigan. 6'5", 367 pounds. Came down camp.
And then he'd go off. He'd be like, "Go Tigers!"
Yeah, go Tigers. Yeah. He's a character, man. But I don't know that there's much significance to it. I like obviously if they're putting, if they're giving him $100,000 to be an analyst and that's it, maybe he's not playing much of a role. Again, strange decision by him because last I checked, he was supposed to be coaching in Tulane, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very odd. Guys, I'm crashing hard. I'm probably going to have to hop off.
All right.
But good stuff with the recruiting. Enjoy the rest of the show. Good seeing you, Mark Sr. I'll talk to you guys soon. We are.
See you, Brett.
And stay
Yeah,
safe,
have
guys.
a good night, Brett.
You too, guys.
Good night.
What's up? Yeah.
What's that?
What were you gonna say?
I was just saying, see you, Brett.
Yeah. So this one, it says we're either gonna win 2 to 3 natties or everyone's going to jail. Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Not the head coach, huh?
Yeah.
What's that?
He's not the head coach.
No, just an assistant of some sort. Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. I don't know.
But he won a national title as the head coach.
Yeah.
That's so I guess that makes sense. But Ben Brahmer is the #1 ranked portal tight end for this class, which is cool. So he's going to be our backup, basically.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, and then Coach Malo, he was in New York, 4-star prospect. He's looking at him. My goodness gracious, that kid looks older than our coach.
Yeah,
man, that is a grown man right there.
Big dude.
So Rocco Becht, he's number 21 in preseason rankings.
Yeah, I think
bad
that's a little low,
kid.
But
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. I want to play. For those of you that don't know who Mark Madden is, this is Mark Madden. Very funny man.
Well. Aaron Rodgers spoke to the media and said this is his last year. You know what Chuck Noll said back when? If you're thinking about retiring, you already have. I know what Rodgers said today. I don't believe a single word that comes out of that attention whore's mouth. This is just another way to grab a headline. He's never going to win a playoff game again, so he wants headlines. Anyway, Rodgers says he's done, and he probably is. I wish he already was. This is all just way too much. The saturation in friggin' May. And it all leads back to not winning a playoff game for a 10th straight year.
Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen. But Mark Madden is a Pittsburgh legend, and he hated Tomlin. That's for sure. Rojas is a lot impact trophy watch list finalist, which usually you don't hear about this stuff until the summer, but I don't know. This is like interesting.
Yeah, it makes sense that he'd be on there. It's I think they're moving things up because the off season's got him antsy.
Yeah,
but Rojas would definitely be one of the guys. Certainly in the Big Ten, he would be one of the guys to watch.
He could be really good for us this year. The fact that he's coming back and he's still here, healthy, he's going to be healthy, and he's at Penn State again, which is because he could have left, but he didn't. So, Virginia Tech fans were wondering why he was in Virginia. It's because he's from there. So, just do a simple Google search and you'll find that out. And then you can Google map Virginia Tech. That's where he's from. So, just because Virginia Tech's in where he's from doesn't mean because he's driving there that means he's going there. So, so this is the judge that is overseeing the Texas Tech Brandon Sorsby thing. They asked which one is the judge because he's a Texas Tech fan. So, Texas Tech fans should be happy. The judge is on the right. That guy on the left, that's the mascot. So,
yeah.
I grew up in Lubbock and attended Lubbock Public Schools, Texas Tech, and Texas Tech School of Law.
There you go.
So that won't be biased at all.
Impartial.
No conflict of interest here. Hospice of Lubbock benefits each year from the mayor's beans and cornbread lunch. Oh, so he was there.
Yeah.
So Brandon Sorsby, welcome back.
Yeah, I was going to say, so foregone conclusion, Sorsby will be playing.
And the judge is like, son, I'll give you $5 million right out of my pocket.
Yeah. Well, he at least contributed to the lunch.
So as soon as he hits the gavel, boom, you're coming back. He's going to slide a suitcase across the floor to Brandon Sorsby. Like, here you go, son.
Yeah, that's probably something along those lines. I know Josh Pate won't be happy about that because he felt like they needed to fry Sorsby for that.
I mean, he should be for sure, but
it's a precedence thing. They probably should do it. But
there's a young Jim Kelly getting his book signed by Terry Bradshaw.
That's cool. That's a really cool picture. Yeah.
2 Pittsburgh guys. Penn State missed out on Jim Kelly, of course.
It did. Yeah.
And Dan Marino.
Yeah, Marino. Yeah.
what else we got here? But yeah, Aaron, what do you think about Dad? Yeah, you kind of already said about Ed Orgeron, but this Texas Tech thing, man, like we've talked about it before. I don't know how this plays out because this judge.
Yeah.
First of all, he shouldn't be the judge that is doing this, but I love it because you know what? If he's a Texas Tech fan, he loves football. Then, all right, let's get a verdict.
Yeah.
I love the school ties to stuff like this because Sorsby, he didn't like kill anybody or anything. I mean, he was gambling. There's worse crimes, but
sure.
Okay.
I love this. Like if Penn State had a judge that could help us out for something, like, hey, that's America.
I think mostly, it's one of those things that I would be a lot more against Sorsby playing if the sports that he was involved in didn't openly support gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that they openly support gambling kind of puts them in a situation where you're a hypocrite, right? For giving players a hard time for gambling. Yeah, the players probably shouldn't gamble. It should be in their contracts that they're not allowed to. That all makes sense. But makes it hard for me to take you seriously if you want to bury them for it when you literally put gambling all over your ads and you sell it left and right with your sport. So yeah, it's not necessarily like I understand the principle and I get what Josh Pate was saying where like they need to set a precedent with this. I get it. And you're probably right that they need to come down on him hard. But it's hard for me to have much fire about doing that when, the people in charge of the sport don't seem to care. So as I say, it's like one of those things, if you don't care, why should I? Right.
Yeah.
But if Sorsby gets to play, hopefully, he learned his lesson. Obviously, really the bigger problem is honestly Sorsby himself. It's not good for him. Gambling is going to ruin his career and ruin his life. It's one of the worst things to get caught up in. So if anything, Sorsby needs help for himself more than anything. But
yeah, as long as he gets the mental help he needs, that's, what I think is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I want the kid to play again. I do, but at the same time, it's like he needs help, and what he did was not good. So
yeah, I agree.
The precedent needs to be set, and he needs to be an example because of this NIL. I mean, these 18, 19-year-olds are making $12 million, and wow, if I made $12 million when I was 18,
you'd only need it once.
I don't know where I'd be. Holy crap! I mean,
yeah,
I'd probably be in Europe somewhere.
That's a lot of money.
On a beach right now.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's you just don't want to drag other guys into this.
Yeah.
He's let off that easy. That's a lot of money for a lot of teenagers that usually don't see that much money until they get to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dad used to tell me the same thing was, if you're bad with money, it doesn't matter how much I give you, you'll always be broke anyway. And what's his name in the NFL? Notorious Odell Beckham complaining about making $100 million because they take 40 million of it in taxes. I got nothing left. You still got $60 million, Odell. Like I don't know what to tell you. And the reality is, you could give him $10 billion. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
He'd blow through it anyway.
Okay.
But I think Sorsby's probably in that boat. Right? He's gambling it away. That $5 million probably already gone. And it's like, it's one of those things that obviously, I think in the long term, he's going to hurt himself more than any ruling's going to hurt him. But that's not the point of the ruling. And that's what I was like, Mark, and like what you were saying, Mark Sr., and what Josh Pate was saying is you got to set a precedent for the sport, because your job is for the sport, right? Like it's not a question of punishing him directly. It's a question of punishing the action appropriately, which I do agree with. But I would like for, and I said this before, I would like for the people in charge of the sport to demonstrate the responsibility to where they can sit on that tower and reasonably look down and say, you did something wrong, right?
Yeah.
And that's always my thing is, you know, if I'm gonna hold somebody to a standard, I need to hold that standard myself first. But so it's one of those where, yeah, they should punish him. That's the right thing to do for the sport. But I'm also going to look at them side-eyed the whole time.
Yeah. Community service, and he needs to get counseling for, say, 6 months or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think they did check him into some kind of rehab for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tiger Woods, for example, you know, my favorite athlete. I mean, that guy has been to rehabs that I didn't even know existed. You know, like he's, you know, Tiger's been in and out of that type of stuff. And people go back more than once, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to be in rehab one time and be done. He's going to be in and out of it. Gambling's very addicting. It's a drug. But yeah, I like what he did was it's a jailable offense.
Yeah.
I don't know if Pete Rose went to jail or not, but he probably could have gone to jail. But you know, that's a guy that you'll always kind of compare to. Like gambling. Yeah. Like he needs help. I do think that, again, it's college football. I want to watch good college football. I want Texas Tech to have their quarterback, and I want to watch it play. I want them to play, but this is bigger than football. And as much as a fan of as I am of watching good college football, I want him to play. But if that means he's not getting any better and he gets away with it, like that's not good, because it's going to get worse for him. So, I mean, Art Schleister back in the day, Ohio State quarterback, that guy was heavy into gambling. I mean, he went to jail. Like, you know.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
You remember Art Schleister? He was big time gambler, man. Big time gambler.
He never learned his lesson either.
No, he didn't. I mean, I think he took like his NFL signing bonus, bro. He blew his whole paycheck in like 1 year or something like that. You know, it's like it. But yeah, like you said, Dad, like 18 years old, he's making $5 million. Like you said, like I didn't even think about the fact, Aaron, that maybe he spent it all already. I don't think you get it all up front, but he's probably spent a big chunk of that on gambling.
Yeah.
He bet on Indiana games when he was at Indiana. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, you know, I've seen people do it too many times. You know, gone from the Army. You have those guys, they blow their paycheck before they even have it. And that's why you used to see those payday loan places hanging around posts, because they'd jump all over those dudes. And all you can do is try to teach them better. But some guys, they need hobbies, or they need, you know, some people need a lot more direction than others do, right? So you had those guys that you would have to say, well, if you can't be an adult, then I'm going to be your daddy, and I'm going to make you live the life that you need to live so that you'll fare better down the road. And then, you know, the adults in the room, you don't have to worry about. That was the thing. Like if you were in charge of a unit or in charge of a group of guys, you might have some guys that you had to babysit them. But you know, if you did it for the right reasons, most of the time they'd come around. It was pretty rare that I encountered a guy that was like, there's no helping this dude, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I agree, George. He doesn't deserve to play again. Absolutely not. Like, he should not be playing again. But
yeah, I think at the very least, if it was up to me, I'd probably suspend him for a year. And then if he offends ever again, then he's out.
Yeah.
But I might suspend him for this season and then say, well, you can come back and play next year. But I'm not, it is what it is. I think, I'll be real, I actually think the Big 12 champion this year may not be Texas Tech, regardless of if Sorsby plays or not. I'm side-eyeing Houston for that Big 12 championship because I think Houston might surprise a lot of people, but Willie Fritz knows what he's doing over there.
Yeah, it's fixable, but like Aaron said, it's up to him. You know,
I mean,
yep.
If the kid hasn't gotten the help he needs, the judge is doing him no favors by letting him play. But
yeah,
again, he's a judge. He's a football fan. Who knows what he does?
Yeah.
Judges are. I mean, you walk in a courtroom, everyone stands up, call him Your Honor. Judges are. That's probably the most respected profession that there is. You know what I mean? They have a lot of power, and like, I'm Catholic, so Catholic priests, you call them father. Like, there's a lot of respect. That's a respect thing there, and like, they have a lot of power. They have a lot of prominence as a priest. Like, judges, there's not a person that walks into court and says, "What's up, man?" to a judge.
Mm-hmm.
You call them Your Honor, you stand, you sit. Like, they have a lot of pull with stuff. So, and they're supposed to be morally superior to everyone else because they're a judge. They make rulings on stuff. So, who knows? I mean, that Trinidad Chambliss kid, that guy was 100% an Ole Miss fan, I would think. And he let him play again. That's the human element of it. So this Texas Tech judge, I know it's just like a joking page and stuff, but he could just let him off and without a thought in the world of his future. And but then again, he could also punish him and find him but obviously that guy being a Texas Tech fan, that's not a good look for the Rolling.
Yeah, it's a terrible look.
Like, this is a team that could potentially win a national title. Like, they could be that good. It's that it's possible. That's one of the best teams they've had in a while, and they had a first-round linebacker this year. Like, that was a good Texas Tech team last year. Oregon killed them, but that was a good Texas Tech team. So it could be another situation like that where, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is, for this day and age, it's new because of NIL and stuff like that. Art Schleister, that was a while ago. I mean, just last year, he pled guilty to another thing. Art Schleister, August of 25, felony cocaine possession. I mean, that guy couldn't get out of his own way. So, but he did not have NIL. He had the signing bonus of an NFL quarterback back then, which is like a tenth of what it is now. So, and now there's guys in college, they're taking a pay cut to go to the NFL. So it's,
well, it doesn't actually cost much
crazy.
To get in trouble.
No,
but it's true though. Like, there's consequences for your actions, which is why, like, they should punish, even though the sport's imperfect, even though all this other stuff is imperfect. There's consequences for your actions, and you need to have those consequences. And I agree with that 100%. They probably won't, and it probably won't do them any good, and it probably won't do him any good either. But
I think the judge is going to come down really, really hard on him and spell it out and say, XYZ, and if you deviate from any of these 3 or 4 or 5, you're done.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen it in my studies. Judges, they'll spell it out and they'll say, screw up and you're done. It's up to you. But I'm giving you a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you to come straight.
I mean, it could be the opposite where he comes down, he drops the hammer on him because he made his school look bad, which he is. He's making his school look bad.
Sure.
It could be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I think they should punish him because it's the right thing principally and consequentially to do. But we'll see what happens. I think with the college football being the way, the big issue, college football has so many issues with the people that are in charge of it right now, let's be honest, they've been putting the sport in a bad spot for a while now. And little by little, they're putting it in a worse and worse place. And so, and it's just they don't care about, they don't understand what made college football good in the first place. And that's why you're seeing, super conferences, even though it's not really good for the games, it's not good for the regular season. We're talking now like we have to have 24 teams in the playoff because nobody cares about the bowl games anymore. So now nobody knows how do you evaluate an 8-4 season anymore? Nobody knows. So now everybody's got to make the playoff. And it's like, I mean, we all knew this is where it was going to end up, right? Because it was the same thing for the SEC. The SEC's complaining because, well, it's so hard to play in the SEC. Well, who made it that way? Yeah, guess what? If you stuff Oklahoma and Texas into an already stacked conference, well, you're going to bat 500 against yourselves. The conference is going to bat 500 against the conference. Yeah, somebody's got to lose, dude. So.
Yeah. Oklahoma and Texas are two of the most historic programs in college football history, and you put them both in the SEC. You're all going to murder each other throughout the year, and then when you go to the playoff, you're going to get your ass kicked because you're so beat up from playing in the NFL, basically, of college football.
I said that 10 years ago when they were talking about it initially, and I was like, why would you want to go to the SEC? You're all going to be 7-5, and then you're all going to be complaining that we can't play for the national title. It's not fair. It's fair. You chose this life. It's your life. You chose it.
I mean, the Big Ten's getting there too, man. They got Oregon, they got USC, they got Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Indiana now. Indiana totally threw a wrench in everything. Yeah. So those are 6 teams right there. What is that? 7 teams in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good conference, all those teams, Yeah,
it's like, don't get me wrong. It's like, it's all these great teams, but it also is like college football was a regional thing too, right? So let me ask you a question. Who would you rather watch play a football game? UCLA and Penn State or West Virginia and Penn State? Everyone's answer is going to be the same. West Virginia and Penn State.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's more interesting. They're a neighbor. Mm-hmm. There's more interest in it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I always said don't get me wrong, like USC and Penn State's interesting because there's some history there. And I think they were kind of banking on that. Like a lot of the Pac-12 teams are like, well, the Rose Bowl history, right? So there's some history there that they can come in. But I said the same things. Like you look at West Virginia. West Virginia went to the Big 12. Nobody in the Big 12 cares that West Virginia is even there. Everybody forgets they're there every year. Nobody cares. And it's so funny because they were like, well, we get more TV money from it. I bet you they lost more money going to that conference than they'll ever get from that conference because nobody cares about their games now. Like the only people who care about West Virginia games are West Virginia fans. The West Virginia Penn State game last year was their most watched game.
Yep.
It wasn't even in conference.
I mean, if Penn State every year played Pitt, Virginia Tech, I would like them to play home and home with them. I mean, they should have been doing that already. Yep. Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Pitt, Maryland, Who else was like those games? Pitt, Pitt, West Virginia.
Syracuse was part of the tri-state rivalry.
Syracuse, Maryland, Virginia Tech. Like those are teams that they should play every year because, like you said, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
People are going to watch Pitt, Penn State. Like that,
Yeah.
what was it, 2019 game against Pitt,
Mhm.
Kenny Pickett in the rain? That game was horrible, but it's Penn State and Pitt, so no one cares.
Mhm.
Or was it 2018? I don't know.
Yeah.
But West Virginia, Penn State, like they hate each other. I mean,
Yeah.
Pitt and Penn State hate each other even more.
Yeah.
And then every year it's right. Does West Virginia still play Pitt every year? Like
They try to,
I mean,
but
yeah, like they hate
the
each
Black
other.
Diamond game. The Black Diamond game is gone. That was a huge game back in the early to mid 2000s. The Black Diamond game was huge. That was the Michael Vick era, and West Virginia was good, and they were actually playing with national title, and like
They're in
that
the
game
same
was
state.
absolutely huge. Yeah, and
Well-
they never play it anymore because West Virginia plays in the Big Ten, and they're busy playing Baylor. Nobody freaking cares. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, just reality, and that's why I said like they've hollowed out the things, a lot of the important stuff that made college football good. The reason you had all these, like the reason college football drew in so many fair weather people who are not serious, like serious fans like us, we're gonna watch regardless, right? Like we'll watch. I'll watch Penn State play West Virginia Directional School 2, whatever. Sure, I'll watch because I'm a big fan of the game. But the average person, that fair weather fan who helps pay the bills by buying tickets for a random game, they're not going to go to that game, right? But if you have Penn State, West Virginia, people go to that game. West Virginians who don't normally watch West Virginia will go watch West Virginia play Penn State, right?
Yeah.
So I think I just think they don't understand the purpose of the sport. I don't think they understand how the sport got popular, and they like the idea because you think about like there were games in some of these seasons where the games were bigger than the national title ever was in that season. Like USC Texas in 2005, or not USC Texas, USC at Notre Dame 2005. That game was bigger than almost any game that entire season because that was huge. Like, can USC go to Notre Dame and win that game? I don't know, right? LSU and Alabama regular season 2011. Huge game, absolutely massive game. The national title didn't hold a candle to it because that was that year Notre Dame got absolutely clobbered. Alabama was completely one-sided of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's like independence. Like, dude, you don't have a shot. I don't know if Notre Dame will ever have a shot being an independent.
It's just like, I don't know. They just they lost sight of what made the sport great, and then now the only thing anybody's interested in is did you make the playoff? And so, you know, but they've guided it there. It's a misguided idea where they think more games equals more money. And maybe there's some truth to that, but that only lasts as long as the fan base still supports it. And usually what happens is they hollow out the thing and then it gets less and less popular over time. And then it's not worth the money anymore, which is what's starting to happen to the NBA. The NBA's regular season can't make money to save their lives all of a sudden. So,
well, I mean, and these new TV deals where it's CBS gets 3:30, NBC gets
their
nighttime.
Schedules are awful. Yeah.
What is it? Fox gets noon. Like, dude, that's CBS. Okay, that's SEC. Northwestern Rutgers with Brad Nessler.
Yeah.
Like, no one's watching that.
Yeah.
You know, it just. But it's all about the money, man. Like, that's a big mega deal that they made. That's like $1 billion mega deal that they made, where each program gets a time slot, and then they bid on games every week. So sometimes you'll see Fox, they got Oregon and Northwestern, and the next week they got Ohio State, Michigan. Like, they bid on those games. That's how they get those games. You know what I mean? But like the fact that it's now NBC, CBS, Fox, where when I was growing up, every Saturday night you had a big game. It was on ESPN. College Game Day was there. I remember when Megatron was at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And they played, I forget who, but College Game Day was at Georgia Tech. It was the nighttime game. Brad Nessler, or I'm sorry, Kirk Herbstreit and what was his name? Kirk Herbstreit and Michael, right?
I forget who I forget who his co-host was for those.
Yeah, it's dude. I didn't like Brent Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit.
Brent Musburger. Okay.
Every Saturday night, it was Brent Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit. They had the biggest game every week. The whiteout was always at night on ESPN. Yeah. Like it was always the biggest game. Now, not every big game every week was a big game compared to the other one, but it was the big game of the week. So, like West Virginia Pitt back in the day when they got upset, that was on ESPN because West Virginia was on their way to the national title.
Yeah.
Like Michigan, Ohio State. I remember watching that at night. I mean,
yeah.
Back in 2006 when Lamar Woodley and those guys, like they literally. When Michigan played Penn State in 2006, they hurt 3 of our quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They knocked Anthony Morelli out. They gave him a concussion. They knocked him out. And then Darryl Clark got hurt. And then Ciancioli, I think he got hurt too. That defense had Lamar Woodley, the Steelers guy.
Yeah.
They literally knocked every one of our quarterbacks out. And then they went on to play Ohio State that year. They lost to Ohio State, Troy Smith and Ohio State.
Yeah,
but I remember that game was a night, and that was one of the best games of all time because that Michigan defense was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Carr, Jim Tressel, and then they went on and they got killed by LSU, a 2-loss LSU team.
Yeah.
Now that's back when when SEC was like they were still like the dominant conference. Now there's a little more parity, but yeah, like you said, Aaron, you have Texas and Oklahoma. I remember when they said they're going to the SEC. I'm like, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
What? They're never going to win the SEC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Neither team, Brett Venables and Sark, dude, they're not winning the SEC. They have Arch Manning. They have a Manning as their quarterback, and they're not winning the SEC. There's no way. They could be good, but they're not winning the SEC. It's always going to be Alabama, Georgia. They're used to it.
Yeah, Alabama,
they've been there
Georgia,
for decades.
Yeah. Well, and it's it's one of those things, and the thing that sucks is like it deprives us of better games, more interesting games. Like we used to have certain guarantees in the sport. Like you would get your Ohio State Penn State game every year. You would get your third Saturday in October, Tennessee, Alabama, guaranteed going to happen this day, this time. These things keep getting pulled away from us. We don't get our Black Diamond games. We don't get guaranteed showdowns that we used to get that used to be they were big deals. The Bedlam game is gone. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. That was actually a ton of fun to watch. I have no interest at all in Oklahoma, but the Bedlam game was worth watching every time. I had a lot of fun watching those. Oregon and Oregon State, the Civil War. Don't get to see that anymore, right? Like, it's such a shame.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then they wonder why the sport's starting to there's like the regular season starting to fizzle and everybody only cares about the playoff. And it's like, well, that's the environment you set up. I often said, like, if you're a country and you spend all your money on your prisons and everyone ends up in prison, why are you surprised? You put all your money in the prisons, everybody goes where the money goes. I don't know what to tell you. Right.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate, and I hope that there'll be some turnaround with it. But right now, unfortunately, like they're right, the corner they backed themselves into, they may have to have a 2014 playoff just to try and subsidize it now. Because
I would hate that because I heard there's guys that they'd sit out of the title games because of the 2014 playoff. But here's the thing: I think the title game should be a playoff game. I think if you want to expand it, make the title games part of the playoffs. So you have to win the title game to move on to the playoffs. But that's the thing too. Like just because Ohio State loses to Indiana this year doesn't mean they're not good enough to get into the playoffs. So I wanted them to put it at 8. I thought they should have left it at 8, but it's 12. Yeah. They want it to be 14, 16, 24. Like 24 that's so stupid. I don't like that idea. Some people do. I don't. But I know the Big Ten wants it because they're going to get more money out of it because they're putting more Big Ten teams. You're going to have because Big Ten and SEC, they're getting a chunk of the spots in the playoffs already. And at some point, it's going to be two super conferences. It's going to be North and South. That's what I think it should be. Big Ten, SEC, you join those two conferences. That's what you're in. If you're not in it, then you might get an at-large at some point. But another thing, too, JMU and Tulsa or Toledo, whoever was in it this year.
Tulane, I think. Yeah.
Notre Dame and BYU should be in over JMU and Tulsa. Okay? Notre Dame could have made a run. BYU maybe could have made a run. That is way more entertaining than watching JMU get the crap beat out of them and Tulsa get the crap beat out of them. Why? No one watches that. I didn't watch that. JMU game was on HBO. I have HBO. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
Like that is an asinine part of the playoff that you let these two small schools in. Why are you doing that?
Well, and that was part of that governance problem from years ago. Like a lot of the problems that they faced, they started a long time ago. Like they just let anybody into Division I. Why? Like, why would a school that their football program has been around for like 10 years, why would they be in Division I? Like, why would they just instantly go to Division I? Why would or why would a school that can't fill a 5,000 seat stadium be in Division I? It doesn't make any sense. And there was never any, like, they just set a set of arbitrary rules and said, if you meet these, you can get you're now your Division I FBS. Okay. So a school could just meet these arbitrary rules that have nothing to do with whether they can actually compete there or not.
Right.
And then they just put them in. And so you have like 135 or some schools now in FBS 1A. And it's like, you could cut 60, 70 of them. You wouldn't even know. Nobody would notice that you did it. Like, if you told half the audience out there, if you told them that I don't know, take an example, Utah State was not FBS 1A, they would not even know. They wouldn't care. Right? And it's not because Utah State's some bad school or anything. It's just they're not competitive with these schools at the top of FBS 1A. And they're not competitive with the top 60 schools in FBS 1A. They're not competitive with Syracuse.
Yeah.
Why are they in FBS 1A? Doesn't make sense. And now they're like, well, we should make a separate championship for them. I'm like, they had that. It's called FBS 2. Why aren't they in FBS 2 where they could play for that championship? It's just so funny because we're just going in circles.
Yeah.
But that was part of the issue. So again, it's one of those, in order to make them, because again, you don't want them to be totally irrelevant. So now you got to give them a way in, right? They have to have some way to compete. So the trade-off is, well, you give them guaranteed spots, and then you end up with Tulane and JMU in the playoff because they have to be. Not because they necessarily should be, but because they have to be. And it's like, all right, I guess that's what our playoffs amount to now.
Yeah, it might not be fair either because, like the Michigan game Marky was talking about, the guys are maybe bigger and faster and stronger. They got the bigger weight rooms, and it just makes it a little dangerous. But when I was in college, we played Alabama and Pitt. Man, that Alabama was Alabama. You got up early Saturday and you celebrated all day because it was Bama coming to town. Man, that was beat Bama chant. And then Pitt was in-state rivalry. And that was a vicious, vicious rivalry because those fans are dangerous. I mean, that game was dangerous for the fans. And
yeah, that's one school that I hate.
And then when we got USC and Oregon and Washington, that's way too far to travel for a football team. It's just too expensive to fly. You're not flying what, 20, 30 basketball players the whole way across the United States. You're flying 100 students the whole way over there. That's just way, yeah. Nebraska was the furthest one out for the Big Ten for years. They're the only one across the Mississippi. Now you got 4 over there.
Yep.
And it's just, I didn't like to pick up those West Coast teams. Not for football. No, it's just too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, USC, UCLA, Washington, that's all West Coast. Like, that's crazy that we're traveling out there like that, you know?
I don't know why. I don't know why they.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big Ten's turning into the SEC. I mean, we're taking over pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We got so many big names in it.
Big Ten's the last 3 national champions.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, once the SEC wasn't the only ones paying players, you know.
They were the league to beat every year, SEC.
Yeah. But
not anymore.
Yeah, George said that. Yeah, no, that's no worse than the special rules for Notre Dame. Yeah, no, it isn't. But it's just it's a round robin, George, right? So first we had the special rules for JMU, and now because JMU got special privileges, Notre Dame complains so that they can get special privileges. Do you see how we're falling to the lowest common denominator here? Right? We just keep going downhill, man. Instead of getting better, we're going this way. We got to stop doing that because it makes the sport worse for everybody. We pointed this out. I remember when we had this issue at one point in the military where the question was, should you allow women in Rangers, right? In the Army Rangers. And my position was always the same. Sure, if they can do it.
Yeah.
But don't lower the standard. If you lower the standard, then it's not the same thing anymore, right? You can't lower the standard. I have no problem. If a woman can fight just as good as me, she's welcome, right? I never had an issue with that. I had an issue with them saying, well, we're going to let women do this and they have to pass. What do you mean they have to pass? This is a test. You have to pass the test. So if we're lowering the standard, then now the Rangers aren't as good as they used to be. Well, they have to be good. We can't be playing this game. This is stupid, right? And so that's the problem with college football. I think we're going around the toilet bowl on our way down, and we keep making excuses saying, well, it's not fair that they get this, so now I get this. And the standard just gets weaker and weaker and weaker. All right. And so, but yeah, I agree with you that like it's not worse than like Notre Dame and their awful schedules every year. But yeah,
like I think it should be top 12. Maybe leave one slot for like the highest ranked non-power conference team, which I guess would be like a JMU. But if you want to make the playoff, if you're in the Pac-12, okay, hit up 5 big donors, have them donate $1 billion total, and then build your program into a playoff team. That's what NIL does for you now. So either you do that or you don't get in. It's that simple. So
yeah, I've said like if the sport's about money, then fine. The sport's about money. So make the schools demonstrate that they can foot the bill, right? If you want to own an NFL franchise, you have to demonstrate you can pay for it.
Yeah.
So make them do that, and there are schools that came from those beginnings that I think are worth the Division I FBS. I think Boise State, if you plug them into most conferences, they would make it to the middle of the conference at least. I think they're good enough to do that, and they're consistent enough to do that. Utah was a nobody when I was a little kid, and then they grew into a somebody over time, right? So there's room for that. I'm not saying that you just box them out and never let them have a chance. But what I'm saying is like make them demonstrate it first. And then when they demonstrate it, then give them a chance to demonstrate it further in FBS 1A. All right. And we could use something like you could use relegation like they use in MLS and places like that, where if a program, in Europe, in UFA or UFA, if a program does bad enough for a while, you're done. They're downgrading you. You're out of the main league. So I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. But yeah, they need to do something, because the things that they're doing are actually causing the competition level to reduce over time. And it's making the games not as interesting and worse. If you want to get new rivalries going, because you're going to need those, since you went and relocated everybody, you got to get some excitement into it, right? So you got to have those big games where Texas and Alabama come down to the wire. You need that competitiveness if you're going to build new rivalries. So
yeah.
What's your opinion, Aaron, on okay, Fighting Irish were ranked 8 or 9, and they got kicked out of the playoffs. So what's your feeling or opinion on that?
My feeling was it was based on the rules that the playoffs had at the time. They were one of the first ones out. Now, if Notre Dame didn't like that, well, they should have done what Penn State did when Penn State saw the writing on the wall back in the 80s and said, we better get in a conference. But Penn State went to a conference that made sense for us to be a part of, right? Where we had Ohio and states like that around us that were part of that conference already. So there was some interest there already. Whereas and real talk, where Notre Dame should be is the Big Ten. They should have been in the Big Ten for years. Now, I think they got rejected the first time, but there was various reasons, and that was a long, long time ago, I think. But last year, them getting put out, should JMU have been in? No. But those were the rules. Everybody knew those were the rules. It was the same thing as Alabama the year before. Alabama got rejected and SMU got in instead, right? And I said, them's the rules. Don't complain. Those are the rules. We all knew these were the rules before we got to that playoff. You knew what you had to do to be sure you were in. So, and I said, I'm not going to bat for Notre Dame if I wouldn't go to bat for Alabama. I'm going to be fair to everybody. So the rules were the rules. To me, Notre Dame was out last year based on the rules. But had those rules, if the rules were get the 12 best teams that were available, then I would have said, well, no, Notre Dame should be in then. Because what
was Alabama ranked when they got knocked out?
They were 13 or 14.
See, that's the big, big, big difference. I mean, Fighting Irish are right there. Holy crap.
Were right there.
8 or 9. They weren't on the line at 12 or 13. They were wow. That's just I didn't agree with it. I mean, no, even whether you like Fighting Irish or not, it's just wow.
No, that's fair.
Okay, so Penn State makes it to number 9 or 10. We might be kicked out. You know what I mean? Wow, look at our schedule. We're going to have to be the top 2 or 3 to make it.
I will say, Mark Sr., if that happens this year and we're on the bleeding edge, based on our schedule, we shouldn't be in.
Right. That's scary to be ranked 7 or 8.
I'm not going to like it when it happens, if it happens that way. But at the same time, I am going to try to I'm just going to let it be, because I know that's what we get for having a really soft schedule,
So we're going to have to go
we have to win 11
or something.
Yeah, we have to win 11. We would have to steal the USC or the Michigan game. We'd have to win one of those.
Yeah.
And again, I'm perfectly fine with that, because to me, if we're good enough to really be serious in the playoff, I think we have to be able to win a game like that, right? So, I looked at Notre Dame last year. Notre Dame was a team that was capable of winning that kind of game, but I think what kept them out for me was Miami beat them earlier in the year. And because they had that head-to-head, I said Miami's got to be in. Not because of who's better right now, but because the head-to-head has to matter, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was mad at ESPN and them for ranking Notre Dame ahead of Miami, because they should never have done that in the first place. But yeah, I still think the rules for the playoff don't make sense. There shouldn't be two random teams from the small conferences just to satiate the small conferences.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, right here, I mean, not that it's going to happen, but if we go 10-2 and our 2 losses are Buffalo and Marshall,
yeah, definitely.
we're not in. Period.
Now,
No.
if our 2 losses are USC and Michigan, and the rest of the sport has a hard time getting to 10-2, then maybe we get it, and maybe we have an argument. But but the reality is we're going to have the weakest 10-2 of anybody in that group, right?
Oh, yep.
If we do,
that could go with any team in the top 12.
Yeah,
anybody could get bumped.
Oh yeah, like it's But I do believe, George, I believe in head-to-head as a tiebreaker, regardless of when they played during the season. And I know that like over the course of the season, a team becomes different and all that. That's great and all, but I think we get too caught up in trying to predict what's going to happen before it happens, instead of just letting it happen, right? And so we have the result. You could try to predict whether Miami would win against Notre Dame in round 2. But the reality is, like, you don't actually know till they play the game. The only exception to that was a James Franklin-led Penn State, where you could predict accurately every time that they would lose. If it was a big game. That was the one exception. But
okay.
But yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. Like Notre Dame last year, for example, like you just said, 10-2. They lost to the only 2 good teams they played, and then they beat everyone else up. They're a bunch of high school teams, and then they're surprised they don't get in. I mean, I know they were ranked 9, but it's like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they were ranked 9 and they were supposed to get in, and then they didn't. So it's like just because they were ranked a certain amount doesn't mean they should get in, and they shouldn't have gotten in my opinion. Now, if you kick JMU out and Tulsa, then Notre Dame gets in. But that's the way it's set up. So no, they didn't deserve to get in, not at all. And the fact that they were surprised is not shocking because they're Notre Dame, but they don't know much about football. But
who's the 2 teams they played were good then? Miami and
Texas
A&M and Miami. Yeah.
When did they lose to them?
Right in the beginning of the season.
First 2 games.
Yeah.
So why were they ranked at 8 or 9?
They shouldn't have been. There's no reason for them to be ranked that high.
20, right?
Yeah,
but
it's the problem.
They always do that with Notre Dame.
It's the problem too. Like everybody forgets too, the rankings that you see come from ESPN, basically, right?
Okay.
The committee does not care about ESPN's ranking. Okay, apparently, like that's a very small percentage of their consideration. So even though they showed Notre Dame as 9, that doesn't mean that the committee agreed with that fully. Now, the committee did have Notre Dame, like they aligned with that for a while, and that's why people were like, "Oh, you guys were in agreement with this." And technically, you could argue they were in that sense because the committee rankings are supposed to be reflective. But even then, it's still like they don't actually, like the committee, their rankings, they don't actually rank anybody. They just look at boards.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, when they actually have to make the decision, then all of a sudden everything becomes important. So now, I get why Notre Dame fans were mad because, like, yeah, if you kept telling me we're 9, we're going to start to feel comfortable that we're ahead of Miami.
Right.
And so as long as we don't lose, nothing should change, right?
Right.
And so I get why they were mad. And that was on the committee. Like they should have known better than to be sloppy like that with the rankings. But,
the
rankings committee were so stupid. Like
yeah. But it's one of those things. And I hope,
I would have never thought
where they like give us like, oh, you guys are 6. I was like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, I was going into it like, again, like Notre Dame, they thought they were getting in because they're Notre Dame. And I thought they shouldn't get in, and I was so scared that they would, because I'm like, this is total BS if they get in. But they had them ranked at 8 and 9, and they're like USC back in the day. USC was 0 and 3, and they were like still number one. You know, like they always were number one. Like Notre Dame, they get ranked high, and it's like, do you guys not look at their schedule? Like their schedule sucks, so they shouldn't be top 10. But that's the delusion of like Notre Dame fans, because they get these rankings, they think they're good and they're not, and then they don't get in. They're like, oh, we're so shocked. It's like, do you not watch any of your games to see who you're playing? You're playing Navy, you're playing Pitt, you're playing the local high school team, you're playing the local YMCA team. Like, that's not a good schedule. So you don't deserve to get in, and you're independent. Like
I said, like, the trade-off for being an independent, if you're Notre Dame, is that you can't lose. You're going to have to win those big games. Like, if Notre Dame beats either Miami or Texas A&M, they're in. It's that simple. But when you're an independent and you play a schedule like they do, you can't lose those games. Just like us this year, our schedule's weak. We have to win those games. We have to win at least one of those if we're serious about making a playoff. Now, me, I'm very comfortable with all that this year, because to me, this is a year that we're bringing in a new staff and all this new stuff, and so I'm not expecting anything from this team in particular. I'm like, what I'm hoping for is we'll play good football. That's all I want to see. And if we're playing good football, okay, we get outclassed because USC's had top 5 recruiting classes for 10 straight years. Okay, it's like that's fine for now. I'm not that worried about it. But like, it's just one of those things that I think USC, they better win, because I don't know how much longer he's going to have a job over there if they don't. But it's just one of those things that if I'm being fair to various teams, if we were Notre Dame last year, bias aside, I would have still said, well, we lost to Miami.
Yeah.
So they get in and we don't.
But we're in a conference, though. That's the difference too. If we were independent, if we were independent last year and we had the same schedule Notre Dame had, and we did the same thing, I'd be like, I hope we get in. But we played, and Franklin was the coach, so he'd be like, yeah, we don't deserve to get in.
Yeah, we're in a wicked conference, though. Holy crap! I mean,
we're
Ohio State, USC, Oregon.
Yeah, even when we play
Indiana, holy crap.
Yeah, like even this year's schedule is still better than the average Notre Dame schedule. Like,
that's sad. It is, but yeah.
And you look now, like Notre Dame, they even canceled their USC game.
Yeah,
that's not
that's another rivalry that
That's
should not be canceled, but it is, because Notre Dame's Notre Dame. So
yeah,
that's a mistake.
It's one of those, and I don't know if they're scared because they're scared that they can't compete monetarily with USC. I don't know what the problem is, but they ran from that one too. And
yeah, so like
now they want to pick on BYU instead.
I saw this Dan Patrick episode the other day. They were talking about Dabo Sweeney taking shots at Notre Dame, making up their own roles, which they do. And the one guy commented he's like, I've learned to embrace the hate on Notre Dame. I'm like, listen, I commented to him. I'm like, dude, you guys are the laughing stock of college football. Seriously, you guys are the most. Is there like is martyr the right word? Martyrous, like they're like martyrs, like they like
martyr mentality. Yeah,
they think that they're like, yeah, we just learned to embrace the hate. It's like, you guys are absolutely delusional, and you go out and you say all this stuff and you talk crap and you think you should get in the playoff. It's insane how delusional they are as a fan base. That's what's lame about Notre Dame. Notre Dame as a history, I have a lot of respect for Notre Dame.
Sure,
but the fan base, absolutely clueless. Like it's insane.
Well,
but they get like a guaranteed 12 spot this year,
Yeah. Well, I think the only thing that I doubt I would have anything against Notre Dame if not for it actually is the whole independent thing that makes me laugh now, because prior to prior to Penn State leaving the independents, they didn't have that as any identity.
No,
they weren't, oh, we're independent and proud. That wasn't a thing until like the late 80s, early 90s when Penn State went to the Big Ten, and then they tried to make it a thing.
Yeah.
Now they act like this is like, oh, Notre Dame always was like that. No, they weren't. They didn't care about independence any more than Penn State cared about it at the time. It was just a thing that we happened to be, right? It was like, yeah, we were independent because it was appropriate for what we were doing at the time. But like, it was only when we left for the Big Ten and everybody went, oh, Notre Dame, you're all alone now in the big schools in the independent. And they went, well, we're proud to be. Dude, shut up.
Well, they always cry about how the Big Ten left them out. It's like, yeah, because all you guys do is complain and cry.
Well, they try to dictate terms to everybody.
There's other conferences besides the Big Ten that you guys can go into. So you could do that too.
Yeah, well, the ACC is about to kick them out. Well, because I think the ACC's had about enough of them.
And they're a small school. They have 6,000 kids on their campus at most. That's it. That's a small school.
Yeah. Well, Indiana's a big school in that state.
But like, join a conference. Like, you need to. We said all off season, join a conference. After they beat us last year, join a conference. They said we don't need to join a conference. Well, it turned out at the end of the year that you needed to join a conference because you didn't get in because you weren't in the conference. So you're all delusional. It's
well, and again, like I've said before, if you're determined to make that independent thing your identity, that's fine, but you have to live with the result of that. Don't complain about it. Like, and
then they say the best in PA go to PA. It's like, or go to Notre Dame. It's like, you guys are absolute clowns. Seriously, like Virginia Tech, kids are going to go there. It's going to be the same song and dance every single year. You could get every good PA high school kid from the class of 27. You know what's going to happen? You're going to go to Notre Dame. You're going to play a high school schedule, maybe make a run in the playoff, and you're going to play a Ohio State, a Miami, and you're going to get killed.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, by the way, George just made. Miami joining a conference that was also part of it. That's a great point. When Penn State left and then Miami went from independent to a conference, that's when Notre Dame started to make it their identity, right? Oh, now we're independent on purpose. But the truth was they were independent because they wanted to dictate terms to every conference that they were going to join because they were too cool for school, right? And everybody was like, well, no, you can't join the Big Ten. You have to be AIAA to join the Big Ten. And no, you're not going to get special treatment over Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten. And Penn State understood that. We were like, well, no, we know Ohio State, Michigan, they're the big players here. Gotcha. We'll come in and make our own history. We're cool with that, right? We played the ball. They didn't want to play ball, so the Big Ten told them to pound sand. And then they go, well, now we're independent on purpose. Yeah, sure, bud. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, the old saying is, someone went to Notre Dame because they'll tell you about it.
Yeah,
like. I went to this dinner. When I lived in Connecticut, I went to this dinner one night with this. I knew this one guy. He's like a sports analytics guy. He was a USC alum. And this is after we lost the Rose Bowl. I was there, and he brought that up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said how in 2008, if we didn't play USC, if we played Oklahoma or Florida, I think we would have had a better shot at winning if we didn't play USC, because USC I think that was the best team in the country that year. Mark Sanchez. Yeah. They lost to Oregon State.
Yeah. That was a surprise.
So it was. And then 2016. But anyway, we went to this dinner, and it was me, Penn State alum, a USC alum, and a Notre Dame alum. And the Notre Dame kid, he was nice, but he's talking to me and this kid, USC guy, about college football, and saying how like they're up there with USC and Penn State and they're better. And I'm like, hold on, let me get the body bag real quick, because we're about to put you in this body bag with this argument. Like, you have no shot. Okay. You're not going to talk to us about USC and Penn State being inferior to Notre Dame. Like, dude,
nobody's going to hear that. Yeah.
This dinner's going to be over real quick. Like, but that's Notre Dame, man. Like, that's Notre Dame. They are so full of themselves. It's crazy. And then you get mad at us when we bring it up. It's like, all right, well, but yeah, it's not like you said, it's not an independence on purpose type thing. They just, no one likes them. They're insufferable.
Right. Yeah.
And then,
I was gonna say, it's like, you know, that everybody knows that girl that nobody likes to be around, right? Like, that's Notre Dame. Like, she's like, everybody else is to blame. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's
so
not.
like they don't have a good schedule. They won't join a conference. They don't get into the playoff because they're not in a conference. They complain about that. Then they don't go to a bowl game, which, if you're a school, that is one of the most cowardly, shameful things you can do. That's they showed their true colors by doing that. That is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
But and then they cancel USC and Notre Dame. That's like a classic. And then they cancel it. It's like,
ouch.
Your school is a joke. Your joke is an embarrassment to college football.
Yeah.
It is an absolute embarrassment. And then Marcus Freeman's like in front of the team. You can watch the clip. He's like, yeah, guys, I don't know how we didn't get in. I'm shocked. It's like, well, you're a moron because it's clear as day why you didn't get in. Like, like you don't actually believe that, do you, Marcus Freeman? Like,
I don't.
You're a good coach.
He did. I think, you know, he's coach talking there, but it's
like Franklin saying, I'm surprised I got fired. It's like,
yeah. Yeah.
Really?
He was very aware of what was going to happen to him after what happened in last year.
After they lost to Oregon, man, he knew he was getting canned.
Yeah. Frank was a master of coach talk, man. I still laughed so hard at that interview they did with him where he was like, I'm coaching for free this year. And I'm like, well, no, James, you're getting paid $6.5 million by Virginia Tech and $1.5 million by Penn State. That's not free. Last time I checked.
So if you look at the state of Virginia and you see the highest paid employee as the head coach of Virginia Tech making $6 million, you're like, yeah, that's not no money, but
free.
I mean, I guess he could be a Democrat politician, I guess. Saying he's not getting paid. So
I was gonna send him a letter and just ask him, like, if you want to work as like a what would you call it, nonprofit, you could send your funds to me. I'll accept them on your behalf.
This channel grew and became monetized because Franklin got fired, and all we talked about was how we should fire Franklin for the past 4 years. So how about you donate to us, and then we'll take the money and we'll grow this podcast. And yeah, you could donate it to a local Penn State podcast. You built a weight room, you built Beaver Stadium, you built everything.
Wow.
Joe Paterno never heard of him. Bill O'Brien never heard of him. It was all Franklin. Penn State started in 2014. So
also, but yeah, that was just one of those things, you know. I think I don't know. I think the playoff's going to be a mess until they get some new leadership at some of these schools. Like even the ones we ingested in the Big Ten, like I side eye some of them because you if you want to know who killed the Pac-12, a lot of it was the boards from those schools. USC was a major contributor to the Pac-12's death. Do I really want USC's board having an opinion at the Big Ten? I'm not sure I do.
I mean, Aaron, back in even 05, right? USC had Reggie Bush. They had Matt Leinart. They had some other guys, but that was a Pac-12 team.
Yeah.
They played Fresno State and Hawaii, and then they go on and play Texas. It's like USC was the Pac-12, and Oregon, they never really did anything too prominent until like the late 2010, like the late 2000s, like 2010, 2012, or I'm sorry, 2010 and like 2015, Marcus Mariota, those guys back then. But
the Chip Kelly.
Oregon was just fast. Like they weren't really anything to be worried about. USC, it was always something to worry about, and that was a Pac-12 team. So yeah, the Pac-12 totally imploded on itself, like the submarine guy that went down in the ocean that just
those
blew up.
Board members just didn't get it. Like they tried to make their own TV company, which had very low interest to begin with, and then instead of trying to negotiate a TV deal so that the Pac-12 would air at a reasonable time on the East Coast, because that was the biggest problem, right? All the West teams have the same issue, which is their games are at like 1 a.m, and nobody over here is going to stay up for that. And the problem was, and the problem with that is just the fact of the matter is most people live on the East Coast in the United States. So you need to kind of tailor your gameplay to that. And they never bothered to do that over there. They just,
no.
And they wanted to do their own thing with TV. They thought, oh, we can fuel this with just the West Coast viewers. But the problem is, it's not just that the East Coast has the most people. It's that most of the football fans are on the East Coast. Like people in the West, they tend to be, they're into like surfing and these other, you know, daytime sports and stuff. They don't like football the way East Coast people like it, and especially Southeast people. And if you want the attention of those viewers for your games, you need to air them at a time that makes sense. And they just wouldn't do it.
Like Saturdays in the fall, people are like, yeah, I'm watching 16 hours of college football today. It's like, yeah, you wake up at 8, you watch College Game Day, and then Arizona and Utah is on at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
you're watching college football. I used to fall asleep to watching Pac-12 games.
That's what I would do. I would fall asleep in the middle of the Civil War game.
And like you knew, like when Arizona's playing whoever, Arizona State, and you're watching it because you're drunk and you're going to bed, you know, because you've been drinking all day. It's Saturday. You're not watching it be like, oh, like Arizona and Arizona State. You're just watching it because it's a game. It has no rock solid prominence in the college football world. It's just a game that's on late. Yeah. So, but USC back in the day, they were number 1, so everyone watched them because they were USC. They had the best college running back of all time playing, and then but it never made sense to me that UCLA, Washington, and USC went to the Big Ten. How did that happen? Like I don't understand. I'm okay with it. Oregon, I'm cool with it. We're 18 teams now.
Yeah.
But then you have Rutgers and Maryland and Northwestern. That's a classic Big Ten team. But like Rutgers, Maryland,
it's just the conference trying to get its claws into more area. But like, it was always weird. And I said it for years. Like the Big East existed for a reason. It was a good fit for a lot of those teams. You know, you could argue whether maybe Miami shouldn't have been in there, but the Big East, like Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech, Virginia should have been in there. A couple of the Carolina teams should have been in there. The ACC, like most of the teams that were Big East should have gone to the ACC when the Big East fell apart. Rutgers should probably be ACC right now. It would make a lot more sense for Rutgers and Syracuse to play, right? It's a New York state. It's something that's relevant in that state for those viewers, right? And it's a New York, New Jersey kind of fight that would make sense for them, right? The same thing goes for like Maryland. Maryland's only tied to the Big Ten as us. And our rivalry is what? They have 1 win and we have 45 wins, right? Like, it's the same reason that like the West Virginia Marshall game got canceled because it just wasn't competitive. And I don't understand like why they try to force these games instead of just taking the obvious win. Like, yeah, West Virginia and Maryland used to make some sense to play each other. They should both be in the ACC. Make a lot of sense for them to play. Yeah. What, Virginia Tech and West Virginia, that game would still be, I bet people would watch that if you put it on TV. So, and I said the same thing with, you know, Oregon and Washington. People will watch Oregon and Washington if you put it on at a reasonable time, which it now has once they're in the Big Ten because their own conference refused to do it. So,
well, they're in the same time zone too.
Yeah. And
I mean,
it's
I
just,
didn't want USC. Yeah, I didn't want to too far.
Yeah, it's just more interesting because
3 hours,
you might actually have people who have a reason to be interested in that game. Like I have a buddy who went to Washington University who I want to go to that game with him so I can talk his ear off while he gets beat by my team, right? But
What is the flight from Cali to Pennsylvania? It's 3 hours, right?
Well, it's probably more than that.
It's a 3-hour time zone difference.
It's 3 hour
at
time
least
zone.
about 5 hours, I would say.
I was going to say probably about 5-hour flight, right?
4 or
So
5.
You're taking a 5-hour flight to a 3-hour time difference. When Oregon came to us, man, we had every advantage, dude. The whiteout, the crowd, the night game, the time difference.
Yeah.
And we don't win. It's like, but anyway,
Yeah.
like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I said it, man, at the beginning of the year. I said, just watch the first 3 games. If they look lackluster again, you're going to get the same result because nothing changed.
And they did. They looked lackluster, to say the least.
Yeah, but I wish that they had the same respect for the people running the sport, had the same respect for it that the fans do. If they did, the sport would be in a much healthier place right now. But, if it starts to do poorly, the good thing about capitalism is if it starts to do poorly, those people will get fired. So,
yeah,
but I do think, the Big Ten this year should be more interesting. We're going to have a little more fun now. Penn State is now an unknown, which is a good thing because we were known for all the wrong reasons. And now we will be known for, it's a different environment, right, George? Like when I lived out west, it was the same thing. You don't see the college football is just not that big a deal in the West. You have a few schools that can draw people in. Oregon does an okay job of it, and USC does an okay job of it. Washington does if you're in their local area. And actually, Washington's like one of the best stadiums I've ever been to. I actually really like Washington Stadium, but most of the schools struggle out there to get attention because they're just not as into it out there. So, and over here, you just have way more fervor for it. The Southeast in particular, massive fervor for college football in the Southeast. But in the Northeast, it got stronger. The Big Ten did a lot to prop it up. But, I don't know that college football in the West is ever going to have a ton of energy. There's just a different mentality with it over there. Yeah. But they're trying with the Big Ten stuff. It's hard to get the attention the way that they're going about it. And the matchups have to be better. But we'll see. Sometimes they want to make their own legacy with all these changes they made. I don't know. I personally don't think it's going to work, but we'll see. Like they want USC and Penn State to become a big deal. They want, Oregon and Ohio State to become a big deal. If the games are really good, they might, but the games have to be really good. So, some of them have been, but it's tougher when you travel 12 hours or whatever and then have to play a football game 3 hours off your normal time. So, which is part of the reason that teams like USC came east and then lose games to Rutgers and people like that because they're just not 100% when they play those games.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting, but I like our schedule. So, and we'll see, but we definitely have a favorable schedule for the first season of a new coach. Our schedule is extremely favorable. And dude, it's going to, but here's the thing. We're in May right now, June, July, August. We're 3 months away, under 100 days till college football. That's crazy, man.
Goes fast,
and, I see the stadium every day. It's coming together,
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for coming on, Aaron, Dad, Brett. Yeah, Aaron and I mean, if Aaron can, we'll try to do this every Friday night, just talk ball. I like talking about this. I'm just hungry. That's why I want to get off. But,
yeah, me too.
So, all right.
All right.
Yep. We will see you guys this week at some point. And we are Penn State.
Well, it was nice to see you, Mark Sr. I'll talk to you soon.
Same here, Aaron. Yeah, thank you.
George, thanks for the comments and the donation of the thank you everyone for the comments. Chris, it was good to have you back on, man. Chris, he's been battling lung cancer and he was gifted a membership. So
wow.
I don't see Chris's comment. Chris right there. Yeah. Chris Weaver. George's donation went to Chris. So Chris watches us. He said he watches us when he does his chemo. So good to see him. But bench Paiva bench. I missed this one. Bench 225 for 25 reps at 16.
Yeah. Wrong kid.
I mean, if you see you saw his tape, dude, he's physical.
Wow.
Very, very strong. But all right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for coming on. And
have a good one, guys. And enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you.
Yep. Stay safe.
We are
Penn State.
Penn State.